of Hibs against Celtic. Tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. And for open all mics, choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You are listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Another busy afternoon ahead on Sports, and we got the team news from the games in the top flight this afternoon. Let's dip into the Championship. Let's get to Starts Park, a big Fife derby there. Wraith Rovers against Infernal. There for us, Alan Preston.
Massive game here in Fife. Kenny, you're right, and Wraith Rovers make 3 changes. Out go Massa, Easton and Conley. In come Murray, Millen and Mullen. So they'll go Dabrowski in the goal. So back 4 of Millen, Brown, Murray and Dick. Burnham McGill sitting in front of them. Then 3 Mullen, Stanton and Smith with Vaughan up front. I watched them filming last week. They were awful, and James McPates made 5 changes. Out go O'Halloran, Summers, Hamilton, Chalmers and Whiten. In come Benedictus, Jubia, Fisher, Moffat and Allen. So it'll be Mehmet in the goals. A back 3 of Fisher, Benedictus and Breen. Comrie, Allen, Otto and Edwards. Moffat and McCann with Jakubiak up front. Should be a cracker here.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks very much indeed to Alan Preston. Ian Auld is watching the game in the Highlands. Inverness, Cally Thistle against Airdrie. Good afternoon, Julian.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kenny. Cally Thistle back out of cold storage for the first time in 21 days. Still unbeaten under new boss Duncan Ferguson, and he's been busy with some new signings. David Wotherspoon is one of them, and he is in the starting 11 today alongside the returning Danny Devine. Fellow new arrival Killian Sheridan is also named on the subs bench. Airdrie, who can go third this afternoon, they make 3 changes from the draw with Queen's Park last weekend. Out go Dean McMaster, Murray Aitken and Lewis McGregor. In come former Cali Jack Nikolai Todorov, Charlie Telfer, and player manager Rhys McCabe is back in the side for the first time since mid-September.
Thank you to Ian Auld. There was an early kick-off in the English Premier League. Chelsea 0, Brentford 2. The struggles continue for Chelsea. Let's then get to that big game at Easter Road this afternoon. Kenny Miller is there for us on Open All Mics. Kenny, we discussed a possible change of shape for the home side. What are you seeing in the early stages?
No, I don't think it looks like it. It looks like Nick Montgomery was being honest in his pre-match, and Martin Boyle might just go up through the middle alongside Venta. Again, it's been all Celtic. They've had complete control of the game in this opening 2.5 minutes. You can see that they're knocking the ball about. You can see they're full of confidence. Bernardo's made some good runs on this left-hand side. You see O'Reilly, the man of the moment, being heavily involved. So it's been all Celtic so far, but no, it looks like Boyle will be joining Vente up front.
There's also a big game at Fir Park this afternoon. Derek Ferguson is there for us. Derek, you were saying 2 sides a bit out of form.
Yeah, but a good solid start. 2 minutes 20 seconds to be precise, Kenny, but a good solid start from County. Good possession of the ball, trying to get forward. And you look at Motherwell, that's 3 weeks since they've last played. Yeah, they've probably had 1 or 2 bounce games, but you would think it'll take them a little bit of time to get into the rhythm, get into the groove, and what I've witnessed so far this season, when they're on their A game, Kenny, they're a real good watch and a good side. So yeah, they've had a little bit of a blip as County, last 4 league games without a win, but it's a better start, I would say, from County, and I'll not get those 20 minutes back in my life listening to that VAR. I thought, did you not think Brendan Rodgers?
Oh, great save!
Yes, Alan.
Oh, it's a chance right at the start. It's a corner to Dunfermline, and as the ball comes in, it's flicked on. It's a really good header. Try to see who it was. I think it's Breen at the near post. It's a brilliant save by Dabrowski.
Kenny, but Brendan says the technology's good, but human error, and it'll always be there, and that's a problem. What's wrong with 3 officials, even 4 at the games?
Do you think it's added to our game? It's helped our game, Derek? Would you want to go?
No, that's why I enjoy, and I hate to say this, I've enjoyed more of the championship games. We don't have it. It stops the flow of the game. You see some fantastic goals being given offside for things, but I think when the guys were touching on it, and I didn't want to jump in, there was too many of the guys on it. It's that relationship between the referee and VAR, and at times, and Bobby was saying the inexperienced and the experienced guy, maybe it's the inexperienced guy that's at the VAR doesn't want to kind of correct the experienced referee. So you've got problems there. It's done nothing for our game.
See if it doesn't correct him. What that does, it makes the referee look foolish.
Yeah.
In Willie Collins' case at that time.
But it's been happening, Biscuits, for the last couple of seasons.
I get that, but it's ridiculous we've got our most experienced referee making a decision that other referees can't say, that's wrong, Willie. That's wrong. Completely wrong.
I just think it's causing chaos.
By the way, he never said that actually happened. He says that might have just been a situation, so we can't jump on that as if it's fact.
No, I get that, but
so
that could be the
we're doing
case,
speculating about it, because Bobby says that it's one of the only things he could maybe have seen in that, because you're right, I was sitting next to you that night, Alan, and it's a free kick in the Livingston against Seema against Livingston. To say that Willie Collins just says, no, I've seen it fine, and he's not been quiet. That's what VAR's there for. That's what it's there for. It's to actually help them.
Let's hear the audio of that one then, instead of a nice flowery one that they done. Let's hear the audio of that one.
They got right.
Derek, you've just extended that 4 minutes to 5 minutes that you'll never get back in your life talking about VAR.
I know.
It's all your own fault.
I'm going to extend it another minute as well, Willie, because one thing I wanted to bring up there was, I remember speaking to Graham Souness when we were just on the verge of VAR coming up here. I said, what could we learn from what he's seen down in England? And his point was about getting football guys to be involved in the decision-making process because of their understanding, their reading of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point, but I don't really see it coming in. I don't really see that there's an appetite from the authorities to actually engage with the ex-players. I think Graham's got a good point, and you would welcome that in the game, and I think it would give ex-players, or it would give the authorities an opportunity to see, from a footballer's point of view. But I don't really see it coming in, Kenny, I'm afraid to say, because I don't see any move towards it or any appetite from the authorities to actually do that.
Referees wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
Kenny, and one of my other guys
a
while ago was a supervisor for the SPFL, when we used to go and do a report on the referees, and certain referees wouldn't even read them because they're like, you're not qualified, not interested in what you've got to say about us. So they wouldn't want it. They would not want to help the ex-players.
Massive chance for Motherwell there. Down the right hand side, it was Brown, whips a ball right across 6-yard box, and Brophy just inches away from getting his foot on it. But they've looked good, County, so far in this game. Look very confident, knocking the ball about, and the first real chance there 6 minutes into the game, and really unlucky.
There are Scottish Cup ties today. I'll try and keep you updated on the latest scores. For Martin United 0, Clydebank 1, Nicky Lowe in the first minute. Genefield Swifts are 1-0 up against Elgin City. Dale Robertson on 3 minutes there. Falkirk are ahead in the league. Alfredi Agaman 1-0 up against Alloa. Pollock ahead against Gallifreydine in the Cup, and Tranent also ahead against East Kilbride. Dumbarton behind at home to Banks of D. Edinburgh City 1, Annan Athletic 0. Robbie Mahan with a goal on 7 minutes here. What's happening, Willie Miller, in the early stages in Paisley?
Well, me saying that the home side were the clear favourites, they've hardly been out their half, Kenny. It's been all about St Johnstone, and the visitors are absolutely controlling the game. St Mirren really struggling to get a foothold in it at all. The game basically has been played in the St Mirren half, so it's been a really good start for Steve McLean. As I said, I watched them against Aberdeen. I was well impressed with how they passed the ball about, their interlinking play. They've got Nicky Clark up there. I think Steve McLean will be hoping that he'll be a goal threat, because against Aberdeen they weren't a goal threat. But so far in this game, St Mirren struggling, St Johnstone definitely on top.
Another chance for County. Ball just whipped in. Well, not whipped in, it was a lot of height on the ball from Deanda away to the back post. I think it was Baldwin there, a header. It's a tight angle. He's only 2 or 3 yards out, but another opportunity. So Motherwell really slow coming out of blocks, but County in charge at the moment and really should be ahead.
Who's dominating the early stages through in the game between Livingston and Dundee, Rory Loy?
Well, no one at the moment, Kenny. After one of the nation's favourite chats in VAR, I'll move to another one in plastic pitches. Shamal George just the ball is nowhere near him, Kenny. And it looks to me, out the corner of my eyes, if he's went to shuffle his feet, his studs get caught on the pitch, and he's been down for a few minutes getting treatment. We've only just resumed now. In terms of the actual football, there's not a lot going on at the moment. Ball fell to Rudden there. I thought he was going to get half a chance at the goal, but it deflects over the bar. I think it came off his own player. In terms of the game itself, Dundee have set up, you see it more and more these days, that kind of box formation in midfield. They've got their back three, their 2 wing backs, and they've got Boateng and Silla sitting in front with McCown and Cameron up supporting Zach Rudden, and it always makes it like a box in midfield. Livingston
just an unusual kind of 3-5-2 formation. But as for the action so far, Kenny, not a lot to talk about.
Gallifrey equalised away at Pollock in the Scottish Cup. What is happening through at Starts Park, Alan Preston? It's been a terrific start to the season for Rovers.
It has been. They've been brilliant, sitting in second, but they're going to have to win this one to get on United's coattails. What a result for them last night.
Yeah, tremendous.
But I watched them filming last week, Kenny, and already they've shown more appetite and more urgency today. They've had that early chance for Fisher, it was, with a header. They've also put a lot of balls under Dabrowski. They're clearly targeting him as if someone that might drop the ball. He's dropped one already. Dunfermline have had the better of this, but we've gone about 8 minutes now and it's still 0-0.
Jeanfield Swiss 2-0 up now against Elgin City. I know the BBC are there today doing a wee feature, so look out for that on our social media sites. Let's get to the game. Inverness Cali Thistle against Airdrie. Who's in charge in the early stages, Arian?
Yeah, still very even here, Kenny. One early chance for Airdrie. Nikolai Todorov. When I say chance, I mean he scooped the ball over the north stand. That's about the closest we've come to a goal so far. Cali Thistle looking bright in the early stages. David Wotherspoon has been in possession a lot in the opening 10 minutes here. He'll be a big signing for Cali Thistle. Really impressed with him in the bounce game a few weeks ago against Nairn. So yeah, so far so good for Cali Thistle, and Airdrie looking good too.
Comrie, a shot for Dunfermline. It really gets on a knockdown from Jakubiak. First touch out his feet, second touch is a hit. Good save with Dabrowski diving to his right hand side. All Dunfermline, still 0-0.
Another couple of chances as well, Kenny, for County. We're all over Motherwell at the moment. Set pieces have came from corner kicks. First one, Baldwin. Should have done better. I think there was a little block in there, and then Brophy just coming off that front post area. Gets his header but puts it a couple of feet over the bar. But at the moment, County dominating this and really should be 1 or 2 goals ahead.
Celtic still on top in terms of possession at Easter Road, Kenny.
Yeah, they have been, but Hibs on the attack at the moment. It's for the first kind of meaningful attack. Martin Boyle's got it, he's just managed to keep it in, so Hibs are kind of positioned in the Celtic half at the moment for the first time in the game, but there's been absolutely no goal-mouth action at all, Kenny. There's been a lot of possession for Celtic. The pacey Boyle and Yuan is always going to be a threat for Hibs. They've tried to get the ball over the top, but Celtic have dealt with it pretty well, particularly Carter Vickers. But no, Celtic again back in control now. Hibs they're dropping back into the 4-4-2. They're allowing the Celtic back four to have it and knock it about. They're trying to stay compact. They're trying to make it hard. Listen, that's fine at the moment when there's 12 minutes going, but it's a lot of hard work as the game goes on, because the movement for the Celtic kind of number 8s and the wingers and even the fullbacks is absolutely excellent. So it is all Celtic in full control.
Kenny, were you surprised that there wasn't even a couple more changes in the Celtic lineup after their efforts midweek, just in terms of energy?
You know, I'm driving through today. I thought there may have been, because there's a good squad when you look at that bench. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that bench for Celtic. So, but again, I mean, what I would say is, as much as it was a lot of energy and it was a big game in the Champions League against top opposition, like this team's he's only really had some of these guys back fit for the last few weeks, so I think he needs to get them really up to full speed. They need to get the relationships built. Obviously Palmer's in the team now, he has been for the last 4 or 5 weeks. You've now got Bernardo's in the team as well. They need to get used to their teammates, they need to get used to the combinations and the players round about them. So it's yes, a little bit surprised, but no also, because they need to get up to full speed and continue the good momentum that they've been on over the last few weeks.
Guys, I put this out, I was on Wednesday night for Celtic in the Champions League. I'm interested to get your thoughts on this. I just wonder how things have changed at Celtic. I was asking, Pat was on with Tom and also Faddy was on as well, saying who is the biggest asset now in that Celtic squad to the club? Who's the biggest asset at Celtic Football Club now, Kenny?
It's Matt O'Reilly. It's got to be. I think like the age that he's at, he's going to be the next one. I would think at the end of the season I'll probably go for, I don't know, you're looking at 12, 15 million, was it 10 million he was linked with in the summer. Now he's already off to a flyer with 6 goals in opening 9 league games. He's on track for a 12 to 15 goal season. For an 8, for a midfielder, a number 8, to get to that kind of level, you are going to be looking at that 12, 15 million pound bracket, at least, by the way, absolutely at least. So I think at this moment he's probably their biggest asset for me.
I would agree. No, definitely. I think if somebody was going to come in January, Kyogo is probably the one that for me is still outstanding. But when you look at the age of Matt O'Reilly, the performance that he's produced, as Kenny said, his numbers don't lie this season either. I honestly think Celtic will struggle to keep him, because there's got to be clubs looking at him.
£1.5 million.
Oh, it's
Brian K. Dons. Fantastic business.
Phenomenal bit of business. Yeah. And he gets better. I think he plays with maturity as well. I think if you're looking at him and just the way even he handles the media, the way he speaks, I think he's beyond his years, both on the pitch and off the pitch. That's the way he comes across anyway.
What would you say on this one, Alan?
I would agree. Leanne and Kenny, it's got to be him, but I love watching Dyson Maeda. I think he's brilliant. I think he just energises Celtic's team the way he goes about it. But I'd love to see what he covers in a game.
Yeah.
Amount of kilometres. It's incredible, his work rate. But
that wasn't the question, Alan.
No, I've said Matt O'Reilly. Have you heard me, Kenny? Listen in, pay attention.
Derek, who would you say? There are so many quality players in that Celtic squad to choose from.
No, the boy O'Reilly has a touch of class about him. I think he does a bit of everything in the game. Obviously, you look at that pass to Kyogo, it was absolutely top drawer, but at times he needs to put his foot in, needs to defend. He can do that as well, and every now and again he pops up with a goal, so it does a bit of everything. And he just says there, $1.5 million, an absolute bargain. And I think you're talking 15 million for a player of his class at the moment. What age is he exactly at, Leanne?
22.
Oh, see to me.
Wee problems here. A wee problem at Easter Road for Joe Newell. He's just went down at the middle of the pitch, so he's again, it didn't look like he just went down unchallenged, so I don't know if it was from a previous challenge, but we've got the physio on in the middle of the pitch right now having a wee look at Joe Newell. Little problem for Hibs. Again, it doesn't look good when players just kind of are walking and just kind of sit down in the middle of the pitch, so he's getting treatment at the moment. It's probably the most exciting thing that's happened so far.
Well, he's certainly a key player for Hibs. Who's the key player at Celtic for you, Willie Miller?
Well, you've got to agree with the guys this season. Callum McGregor is a key player, we all know that. But you're talking about perhaps the asset that you might be able to turn that $1.5 million into many, many millions. And Matt O'Reilly's certainly the player. There's other players there, and Maeda's full of energy, and Kyogo obviously with his goals. But I can't disagree with anything that the guys have already said about Matt O'Reilly. The way he's started the season, his age too, that's an investment. When you're looking at the potential that he's got going forward, then I think other clubs will definitely be looking at him.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. What do you think on this one, Rory? The rumours are around that Brentford would be interested. Obviously, so much money down in England. He could become the record transfer out of Scottish football, Matt O'Reilly. He is that good when it is time for him to leave.
Yeah, he is. And if the question is who's Celtic's biggest asset, then I completely agree with the guys. It's got to be Matt O'Reilly. Do I think he's the most important player to that Celtic team? Not necessarily, because I think there are players there who would, if they come in, they probably would weaken the team because he's that good, but not to the point where they would not to the point where they would be massively weakened. I just love Kyogo. I think he's unbelievable. To get that he's 28 and as a financial asset, he probably wouldn't demand as much of a transfer fee as Matt O'Reilly, but I just love Kyogo. I think that if he was down playing in a top 4 club in England with, no disrespect to Celtic, but that top level, I think he'd get even better. I really do.
First shot on goal here at Easter Road, Kenny. It's Paulo Bernardo again. Hibs trying to play out. They turn the ball over. It goes straight to that man we've just been talking about, Matt O'Reilly. First time pass into the feet of Paulo Bernardo, who turns, and as a snapshot, he just pulls it wide of David Marshall's post. First shot on goal.
Kenny, I was watching that build up there. I was hoping you were going to come in. What about the positioning of Rocky Bashiri in that far left hand side? He's in a deep fullback position, and then he just shovels that pass into the middle of the pitch when Celtic are going, rubbing their hands. Thanks very much.
They're so wide, they're so
expansive.
open, so
the distances between the two centre backs is.
They've maybe not quite learned their lessons for last week then.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll give you the latest scores then across the country this afternoon. So in the top flight, we're still awaiting our opening goal. Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, St Mirren 0, St Johnstone 0 in the Scottish Championship this afternoon. Again, all goalless. Ayr against Morton, Cali Thistle, Airdrie, Wraith Rovers against Dunfermline. Alan touched on that remarkable win for Dundee United last night. 6-0 they thumped Arbroath at Tannadice. A really entertaining game at Hampden. It finished Queen's Park 2, Partick Thistle 2 in League 1. Edinburgh City 1, Annan Athletic 0, Falkirk 1. They're going very well. Alloa Athletic 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Stirling Albion 0, Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0. 5:30 kickoff Montrose at home to Hamilton Accies. One game in League 2 this afternoon. In fact, no, don't have the league, no games in League 2 this afternoon. Nothing there at the moment. Just a few problems with some of the scores coming through. The Scottish Cup, there have been goals there. Lots of ties today there. So Beath 0, Broomhill 1, Albion Rovers 0, St Andrews 0, Brecon City 0, Spartans 0, Civil Service Strollers 0, Stranraer 0, Cumnock Juniors 0, Turriff United 0, Devonvale 0, Broxburn Athletic 1, Dumbarton 0, Banks of D 1. A shock in the cars there. Dunbar 0, East Fife 0, for Martin United 0, Clydebank 1, Forest Mechanics 0, Bucky Thissey 0, Fraserburgh 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Huntly 1, Forfar 0, Jeanfield Swifts 2, Elgin City 0, Kilwinning Rangers 0, Cowdenbeath 0, Peterhead 1, Clachnacudden 0, Pollock 2, Gallifreydine 1. Stennismuir have just gone a goal down at home to Brora Rangers. Tranent 3-0 up against East Kilbride. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff, Chelsea 0, Brentford 2, Arsenal 0, Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1. 5:30, Wolves at home to Newcastle United. Let's then get back round the grounds. Derek Ferguson, what's happening at Fir Park?
Motherwell starting to come into it just a little bit. I'm just sitting here wondering, you know, you look at young Lennon Miller not playing this afternoon. I don't know, maybe Leanne would come in that. Does one player have such an effect? Because I know they've not played for 3 weeks, Kenny, but they look really rusty. They're not as slick and as smooth as I saw them before, and County certainly dominating, had the better chances. In that first 10 minutes, they had 4 good chances. They've just won themselves another corner kick, but you know, signs of Motherwell starting to get themselves into the game, but still County looking the most threatening.
I know Stuart Kettlewell, he was frustrated last week, Kenny, wasn't he, that his game it was postponed with the weather that week. They looked to try and rearrange it, so it probably does affect him, Derek. Yeah. I think it's hard to go and replicate that game intensity in training. I don't know where Lennon Miller
chance now. Oh, thought Ollie Shaw was going to go through.
I don't know if he was part of the youth international stuff as well. I don't know if they're maybe just still trying to manage him to a point, Derek, just in terms of how much game time he's having, and you know, maybe he's picked, I don't know if he picked something up in terms of a knock during that international break as well. Just the other week, there's not been a game since.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's a big player for them though.
Oh, you sense that. I'm just sitting here and watching that, you know.
Because you get that consistency, don't you, though? Yep. We've spoke about Spittle, Slattery, Payton. Yep. They've been so good. They've got a really brilliant dynamic in the way they work and operate and get a hold of games at times. And you're right, I've watched your game in bits and following the bits you're jumping in with today. And Motherwell have made a slow start.
Yeah.
Alan Preston, I know you've got a wee poster to put to our pundits today and to see if anyone, I don't think they can, if anyone can top the answer you have.
Well, I was sitting with my mates and Wally Miller and Leanne and all the guys, Kenny, etc. And they were saying, who's the Scotland player, well, Scottish person that never ever got capped? Who's the one that they really missed out on? And
John Brown.
No, the answer that we came up with, Fergie, which I don't think anybody will beat, will be European Cup winning double captain John McGovern at Nottingham Forest. Wow. He wins the European Cup 2 years in the trot. He's a captain of the side and has no caps for his country.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a team that was by that Forest side. O'Neill, Robertson, they're phenomenal.
It's incredible, isn't it, Willie, that he couldn't.
It is, yeah.
I mean, couldn't you think about that?
Yeah, even one cap, you would expect him to have more than one, but not to have any at all.
Just come in just for a little second. It's the first real opportunity for Motherwell. Spencer just coming in that back post there. The ball just bounces up, goes with the head. Just gets, I'm not sure if it's the post of the bar, but it's the Motherwell's first real opportunity. And it's just a kind of hopeful ball into the box. County don't deal with it, and just says it just bounces up and gets good contact, but crashes off the woodwork. Sorry, Willie boy.
No, it's okay. I'm happy if anybody else wants to interrupt me, because there's nothing happening in this game. I'm still waiting, Kenny. I'm still waiting for my first shot and goal here.
And just so I can clarify this as well, Kenny, I was sitting with my mates. I was having a couscous salad and a glass of water.
Aye, good.
Well, John Brown, a decent shout from Derek. I mean, he was a very decent player, wasn't he, Derek?
I thought. I mean, when people think about John Brown, they think, yeah, physicality, aggressive. Nah, John Brown was a really gifted player, and he could play in a number of positions in the back and the middle of the park as well. Could see a pass. I think he was a class act, and I'm just bemused that he never picked up a cap, one cap. And I think it's criminal in my
I remember
eyes.
having Stuart McCollin here, Derek, and we talked about that inaugural Champions League, the terrific run that Rangers had, and he said he was outstanding player for Rangers in that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just playing with them. I played against them a number of times. I remember the game at Dundee, it was a Scottish Cup. He scored 3 goals and ran the show from the middle of the park, and I actually put Graham Souness in his backside a couple of times, and not many people do that, I can tell you. So, no, I thought John Brown was a hell of a player.
Change here at Easter Road, Kenny. That Alistair Johnson, about 3-4 minutes ago, kind of looked, they went down in the Hibs box. It looked like the ball had just been smashed off his face, but it took quite a bit of treatment time across in that far corner, and he's came back on, but within a minute he's just went right back down again. It looks, yep, there's Tony Ralston's going to be coming on to replace Alistair Johnston here, so still 0-0 here at Easter Road, but Celtic have made an early change.
Bournemouth have equalised at home to Burnley. Semenyo with the goal there on 22 minutes. If anyone's interested, Barcelona 1-0 up at home to Real Madrid. Ilkay Gundogan on 6 minutes there. Falk have doubled their advantage, 2-0 up now. It's a second goal of the game for Aguiman. That's on 23 minutes. Falk at 2, Alloa 0. What's then happening, Rory Law, in your game?
I'm sorry to bring you the bad news, but absolutely nothing. I mean,
my goodness.
I've got Iona Valentine next to me who's out and about, just scoping out open all mics and getting a feel for it, and literally nothing has happened to report on. I mean, that run deflected, it wasn't even an effort, it was off his own player. It has been as bad a game as I've seen all season. It's really, really poor. But I did, just on the kind of Kyogo thing, I'd be interested as a player who knows the position inside out and up and down, on Kenny Miller's take on just what level he would place Kyogo at if he was to move on. And you know, I would put him in the English Premier League, but at what level would he place him within that league?
You know, listen, I think Kyogo is absolutely outstanding, but we're talking about a player now. I just don't know where he would fit. I just don't know where he would fit in that English Premier League. I think that
you think he could play for an Arsenal, Kenny? No.
Listen, that's a big ask, Rory. You know, to guys. Maybe could he? I guess that's what I'm going to say. I think he could. Do I think he will? Absolutely not. You know, I don't think that move will come for him now. There's too many, in terms of the stats and the age and the profile and the resale value. There's too many of that. There's too much of that in football. You don't really see players at that 28, 29 and kind of age, approaching 30, that move on to that kind of stage. I just don't think these big clubs are going to sign, particularly for the amount of money it would probably take to get them. And I know it's maybe, if you're talking 25, 30 million pound, it's not a lot to these clubs, but I think for a player of that age coming out of Scotland, I think it is. So, but listen, he's absolutely outstanding. We should just enjoy having him here at this moment in time, because his movement, his energy, the goals that he's scoring, he's a joy to watch. And I just think he's in a really, really good fit. It's a good fit for him playing for Celtic at this moment.
Motherwell.
As we say that, it's a header at the back post for Palmer. A crossing again, it was O'Reilly again, crossed to the back post. Palmer snuck in. He just, maybe Lewis Miller just done enough to put him off. He just headed it down past Marshall's goal.
Yeah, Motherwell springing into life, Kenny, now. Spencer there again, and just driving into the box and just getting on his right foot. And it's a great strike. Looks as if it was goal bound, but I think it was Randall there just getting it. Was a fantastic block in. But just signs of Motherwell just starting to get into this game, get into a bit of a groove and starting to cause County a few problems.
We need signs of something. 4 games in the top flight, 28 minutes played, not one single goal. Now, Alan Preston, I know you've not got a goal there so far at Starks Park, but is it a decent game?
Yeah, it's been decent, yeah. And Raith Rovers have had an effort on goal a minute ago there. It was a good ball into the box. Vormley's back to go. First touch is brilliant. It sets up lovely, and he hits his shot just over the top of the crossbar. Dunfermline have been the better side, better in possession, more hungry going forward. They've forced about 5-6 corners so far. They're putting Dabrowski, who's had a couple of really good saves, under pressure, but still 0-0 here in Kirkcaldy.
Ian Auld, what's happening in the Highlands?
Yeah, still goalless in the Highlands, Kenny. We've had 2 efforts on goal. Todorov with that one I told you about earlier, going way over the north stand. Charlie Telfer hit one over the crossbar a few moments ago as well. But it's been a good watch. You know, it has been an entertaining 28.5 minutes or so, and I would go as far to make a Chip Young style prediction. This one won't end goalless.
You've got a wee check.
Oh, no.
You've got a wee check going on,
right.
Kenny.
Okay,
Spittle, just a way out the edge of the box from where I'm sitting. The way Motherwell attacking right hand side. I think it just looked as if it was a little 50-50. Ball bounces up.
Yeah, I just caught it literally a second before you came in there.
Yeah.
Just trying to see whether there was much contact. think it was Dandel and Spittle, was it?
Yes, certainly Spittle.
I've not had a clear enough angle to see
It's
in terms of contact, but Spittle stays down to, you assume there's been a bit of contact, but it's
checks
just where
over.
Nothing.
No.
It's just a coming together is probably the best way to describe it.
There you go, another waste of time from VAR.
Edinburgh City have been pegged back by Annan Athletic. Tommy Goss from the penalty spots on 31 minutes. Edinburgh City 1, Annan Athletic 1. In the English Premier League, Arsenal have gone 1-0 up at home to Sheffield United. Eddie Nketiah on 28 minutes. We must speak, Leanne, about the women's national team. Another hugely disappointing result last night, perhaps expected though.
It was a sore one. Yeah, it was a sore one. Look, you can look at every game, said that last night. You can look at goals that could be preventable in different situations, different scenarios, but they've got a huge amount of players missing just now, and key players at that. I would love to go back and know when the last time the likes of Caroline Weir and Erin Cuthbert and Sam Kerr, that neither of them were available in a Scotland jersey, at least for a couple of seasons anyway. They've had a good run at it, so big players missing. Up against quality, middle to final third, the Dutch are very, very good, we know that. Players coming off the bench like Viv Miedema last night, great to see her back after a ACL injury, but for Scotland, a bit of a lacklustre performance, and just lacked, I think, a bit of bravery at times. I think Jenny Beattie was a pundit last night alongside me on Sports Scene, and we said that to Jane, like if Scotland were just a bit braver in the press and actually get after it, they looked a better team in the opposition half, but they were
Where does that come from? Does that come from the manager? Does that come from a lack of confidence?
It depends. Sometimes games like that can just get away from you, Kenny. You can set out with every good intention that you're going to get after it and hunt them and chase them and look to put them under pressure, and the quality that they've got at times, the pace that they have as well, can probably put you in your heels. A couple of changes were made at half time, which again I don't really know if I agree with. Brought young Kirsty McLean off at 18 years old, and I'm not too sure how much you learn from that.
So where are you and the manager?
Jury's probably out just now. He had his contract extended to 2027. I don't know what that was on the basis of, because we've not seen any real success in terms of qualification yet. You're probably going back a fair amount of time just now to remember the last time we won a game against a top side, maybe Spain at the Euros in 2017, and I was part of the squads then until 2020-21. So look, there's a lot of work to be done.
But shot for McCallum McGregor, and again, Leanne, you can watch this playing out again. Hibs, David Marshall tries to play it to James Jago, he slips. I think it was Bernardo going to it. It ended up back at the feet of Callum McGregor, who smashed it straight at David Marshall. That's the best opportunity of the game. Still 0-0 here at Easter Road, but Hibs again just playing into Celtic's hands. They're sitting there poised and waiting to press.
Right, chance
at Raith Rovers. It's a really good ball in by McGill, and it's the centre half coming in for Raith Rovers. Just going to have a look. It's up the far end for me. I think it's Murray actually coming in at the back post, just heads over, he collides with the keeper, and the Dunfermline player who are in the net, they're lying down. It's Murray with the header just over the bar. Great chance for Raith Rovers. Still 0-0.
Well, I wish Willie could see that, Leanne. But that passing along the back line. I mean, sometimes, well, there's a fan.
Nonsense.
They must have their head in their hands watching that.
Hibs have went to build out there, and Celtic have ended up with a 5v4 inside the penalty area, and they've literally they've not even got 25 yards up the pitch.
But is that how you get the job? You get the job, you
stick
take
it
your
in a
laptop.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, you take your laptop, you put it onto a big screen, you say, this is how we're going to. And the director doesn't ask, how are you going to win games of football? And I think that's the most important thing. But listen, I've no problem with building up from the back if you've got the players that are capable of doing it.
Yes.
But it's lunacy to constantly ask players that can't pass it from the back to keep passing it from the back. You're just asking for trouble. So
I was at Brighton, Willie, on Thursday. They can do it.
Yeah. But if you can do it, it's wonderful, Alan.
It's a different sport.
The amount of teams that are trying to copy the Brighton build-up using the goalkeeper and as a second centre back, it's incredible.
They're brilliant.
So that's the only real chance, Kenny Miller, in that game so far?
Yeah, it's I mean, they've had that snapshot I told you earlier about Bernardo. They've had a couple of opportunities from the play out from Hibs. Again, they're going to do it again. They've got another goal kick as we speak at the feet of David Marshall. Is he going to play it out? Is he going to try and clip it to the fullback, which he is? He's just drilled it straight on to Lewis Miller. Again, it is another pressing ball that Palmer gets straight on it. But yeah, there's not been a great, really clear-cut opportunity for either team yet. That chance for Callum McGregor for me was the best chance of the game, but again, really aided by Hibs trying to play out and getting it wrong.
What about Louis Palmer, Kenny? What do you make of him?
I thought he started this game really, really brightly. If I would say, I think a lot of the attacking has been coming down this side. He's right down below me as we speak. He's and I'm watching his movement. He's never ever standing still. He's making these kind of out to in runs in behind Lewis Miller. By the way, he's not had a lot of service in terms of it. I think the ball could have went over to him a few times because Hibs are defending high in a high line, and he's making these out to in runs. These diagonal runs in behind the fullback. But his movement's good. He's really, really technical. You've seen that with the pass last week for O'Reilly's goal. He's an exciting player, and he's made this position his own in the Celtic team in the absence of Abada, and obviously Jota then leaving. He seems to be really finding his feet in the Celtic team now.
What's happening, Derek Ferguson at Fir Park?
Yeah, Motherwell certainly warming to the task. Kenny starting to get a grip of the game, creating a few chances. Spencer down the left hand side, he's been a real problem for County. Obviously that header off the bar, and he'd won, he just cutting in and had the shot. He was unlucky with that block, but no, Motherwell, it's just saying that bit of rustiness, not maybe played for those 3 weeks, but they're starting to get their game going at the moment, and starting to ask questions of that County defence. So but at the moment we're going 35 minutes. Afraid no goals here as well, Kenny, like the rest of the country.
Yeah, Willie Miller, any sign of hope in your game?
No sign at all, Kenny, I'm afraid to say. When the crowd get excited when the away team is stealing like 2 yards at a free kick halfway into their own half, and that's about the only thing they've got to shout about. It's been really disappointing so far. Good build up just now. I don't think they've ever one shot. It's a goal! How about that? Come to me, get excited. The magnificent strike for Bacchus it is, who curls it into the top corner for the home side. St Mirren take the lead here after a depressing opening 35 minutes or so. Bacchus puts a shine on it and strikes one into the top corner to give St Mirren the lead.
That's a good strike, Willie. It really is. He must have heard you crying out for just something in the game, just going, somebody make something happen. It's like waiting in buses here.
Right, goal for Cali Thistle. Kenny, David Wotherspoon on his debut. 36 minutes gone. Nathan Shaw cut in from the right hand side, and David Wotherspoon adjusted his feet and shot with the right foot beyond Josh Ray in the Airdrie goal. Cali Thistle good for the lead. They lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, at last we have got some actions. Keanu Bacchus with that goal on 36 minutes for St Mirren. They've had a great start to the season. Rory Lloyd, what's happening in your game?
Well, similar to Willie, I have to say. Hopefully if I continue talking like Willie, I might get a goal myself, but which it's a shame. The game's been really, really poor. I watched Dundee's last 2 results. They've been 0-0, and I was at the game at Easter Road, and it was a really, really enjoyable 0-0. Both teams played good stuff. This has been the other end of the spectrum. I mean, it has been, I try and put a positive spin on anything football when I watch it, but this is as bad as I've seen in a long time. It really, really is. 2 back threes, 2 sets of wings back, just cancelling each other out.
No, it's got to be a check. I thought it was a check. It was a great tackle from O'Donnell. It was a ball from Murray, whipped in. Brophy looked as if he was just getting ahead. That front post area, O'Donnell. It's always a dangerous thing, tackling from behind in the box, but had to get it spot on, and he certainly did that.
It's a shame, it's a shame as well through in Livingston, because I've actually handed out 4,000 tickets to the local community, and the place is actually looking in good shape in terms of fans. There's a lot more fans here than you would normally see, so it's a real shame that the game's panning out this way, but hopefully the game picks up from here. But it is still 0-0. Luke McCowan did have a good touching shot just a minute ago, but that's about it.
Yeah, they're Rory. They're having a little check now. I thought they would. It was just when you see a player lunging from behind, he's really stretching. He has to get it absolutely perfect. If not, you're going to concede a penalty.
It does look like a good challenge to me, Derek. I would need to say it. They will certainly look at it. It's always hard. I'm seeing it in real time. I'm not seeing a slow-mo of it. But O'Donnell looks like he times it really well.
Yeah, and that's a check over, no penalty. So a fantastic tackle.
Bologna 2-1 up away at Sassuolo, Derek. Going well for your boy
I don't
there.
want to know. Don't even go there.
Oh, he's ruined the recording for you, Derek.
No, it's not even that. I just want to enjoy this game. I don't get me thinking about
You were
those
over
games.
last weekend, weren't you?
Yes, and my wife has fell out with me again because I get a wee bit too excited when I go to
Send
the
her
game.
on holiday, Derek, again.
I know. Well, I've been told I need to go in and get in with the ultras. That's been told to.
Did you get in with the ultras last week, Derek, when you were on your own?
No, because I ended up going over with the family because the game was cancelled.
Okay.
But that was the last resort for Carol. So when I'm back out, I'm in with the ultras. I'll need to get some tattoos now.
There's one for some suggestions what these tattoos would be, Leanne.
Imagine.
Tyson one, and it's going to be.
Derek, what's your thoughts on the Italian officials over there? How's the game managed? And I know you don't want to speak too much about VAR, but is it impacting the games the same way?
Yeah, and sometimes I see some. I know we're quick to complain about our referees, but some of the refereeing is you're scratching your head at times. Yeah, very much so. Because that league, it's really physical, so it is. But at times you can see that there's too many. Willie touched on it earlier, but was it Miowski? You know, too many players try to con the referee and not getting punished. I hate that as well. If you try to con the referee and dive, you know, book that player. You know, because there's too much of it in the game. But you're talking as well about some of the football. I mean, playing across the 6-yard box and that in front of the goalkeeper, it's incredible. Some of the stuff.
Is that the way Bologna play?
Yeah, it's heart in your mouth stuff. So it is. So and I end up screaming and shouting and you name it.
Was that screaming or steaming?
Derek, you want to watch the documentary on Netflix about the match fixing over in Italy. It'll blow your mind in terms of the referees and things like that. That's how little's happening in my game that I'm actually thinking about that. But it's a great watch, and it's crazy because they draw lots to see who referees each game. It's crazy.
Yeah. So Kenny, I don't want to know the score, just let me enjoy this Motherwell County game.
Right, okay, I'll do that. Falkirk are absolutely cruising, 3-0 up now at home to Alloa. Cole Donaldson with a goal there on 39 minutes. Aki's play at 5:30. So looking at the live table at the moment, with Falkirk having played that game more, 5 points clear. A terrific start to the season for John McGlynn's side. Let's get back to Ian Auld. You described that opener there for David Witherspoon to get his fantastic career off to another start there at Inverness. He's had a great time, of course, particularly at St Johnstone. But what's the manager like on the touchline there, Ian?
Do you know what? It's funny, Kenny. I was just having a quick nosy down at Duncan Ferguson, and he's kicking every single ball, and he's parading up and down that touchline. You know, he's very vocal as well. As I speak, he's out directing traffic just now. But yeah, he's a big presence, and you can certainly feel that presence in and around the Caledonian Stadium. He's made a big impact since arriving in the last 3-4 weeks.
He's all that Alan Preston, as you were saying, in that dressing room in terms of the management team.
Brilliant.
Bad cop, but even badder cop.
Gary Boland, when two eyebrows become one, honestly, when he frowns, just get out of his way. If you know him, ridiculous, honestly. But brilliant guys, two good guys, and I know, speaking to the players, they love the two of them already. You know, Duncan is just wears his heart on his sleeve, and if you give everything for him, he'll give you everything in return. You know, it's been a great appointment for Cali, regardless of the results at the moment, because it's early on, but to get someone in like Duncan with his stature in the game is a really good appointment for him.
What's happening your match, Al?
Again, it's all Dunfermline. They've been the better side. They've got slightly better the last 5-10 minutes, but Dunfermline are the better team. They're flooding men forward. It's going to be a really tight one, this one. Still 0-0, Kenny.
Let's get back.
Should be 1-0 here at Easter Road. It's brilliant play again down this left-hand side. The position that Greg Taylor takes up inside the pitch. The ball comes to Palmer. It's just a one-touch pass for the diagonal run to Taylor. And again, it's always the first time cross-stroke cutback. And it finds its way to Kyogo, and he comes together with Bushiri. And it falls for Bernardo, who then tries to dribble it, gets tackled. Marshall fumbles it to Maeda. And you think Maeda's just going to stroke it into the back of the net. And it might have been a beater that managed to get a block on that, Lee. And I'm not too sure at the back post.
It was actually good recovery from Hibs. Yeah,
because they got there, because it just looked like Maeda was going to stroke into the back of the net for 1-0 Celtic. But again, it was unbelievable, excellent play, rotations, the movement on this left side between Taylor, between Palma and Bernardo is absolutely excellent. But still 0-0 here at Easter Road, just in the last minute of the first half.
Marshall actually does well in both accounts. Kenny gets the first one from Bernardo, I think it was, and then he's back across for the second one from Maeda.
You've
Does
got
he
a
make the
check,
second,
Kenny.
does it, because he fumbles it, doesn't it?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, Derek.
Here we go, we were getting a check for a handball, but then absolutely nothing. So just a little bit of a stramash from a corner kick in the box. There was bodies flying everywhere, but no, they've had the check, so, and it was quite quick, to be honest with you.
I think you should do a drum roll, Derek, every time you're getting a VAR check at a game. So that's about 5 you've anticipated now, and there's been nothing.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
What about your game then, Rory Loy? I mean, I'm seeing Davy Martindale speaking to his players on the touchline at the moment. Disappointing stuff?
Yeah, it has been, and you know, you don't want to go down that road of the plastic pitch and things. I mean, it does affect the game, and it's difficult to pass the ball quickly, especially when it looks so dry out there. And I've been involved in games, you know, these types of games, Dundee, Livingston's, etc. And it can be very difficult when the teams are so evenly matched, playing similar formations and things. But you're just looking for that one wee bit of quality at some point. There's been so many unforced errors, so many rushed passes. Just an overall real lack of quality. Montano's down at the moment. The majority of the game's been played in midfield, where most of the numbers are, and it has been really, really disappointing, I have to say. I cannot think of even a half a chance of anything happening. And like I said, I love going out and watching football. You could not pay me enough money to watch this first half again.
Rory, I covered the Livingston Aberdeen game, and David Martindale thought it was a great game afterwards. So don't be surprised if he comes out and think it's a good competition.
Is that the opening day?
Yes, in the opening day. It was horrible.
I mean, there's good 0-0s, there is. I used to hold a couple of weeks ago. Dundee were really good, Hibs were really good, both teams should have scored. A draw was possibly fair that day, but it was enjoyable, it was entertaining. I think the grass surface helps, the bigger pitch maybe helps.
Rory, I used to be quite tolerable of the synthetic surfaces, only because in the women's game they're used so often. But the more I watch these games on a Saturday, there is no place for them in the top flight.
No, and the amount of times...
See the difference in the quality?
The amount of times as well, Leanne, that the game's been stopped for injuries, which are quite clearly caused by studs catching on the surface, or you know, the ball holding up on the pitch, players misjudging a bounce and clattering into each other. But the main thing away from that is it totally detracts from any sort of quality.
Half-time, Kenny, Cali Thistle 1-0.
Yeah, Witherspoon with the goal there is first for the club, putting Cali Thistle ahead against Airdrie on the 37th minute. Elsewhere in the Scottish Championship this afternoon, Ayr United 0, Morton 0. That's also just hit half-time. Allens at Starks Park, Wraith Rovers against Dunfermline. Dundee United 6-0 winners last night against Arbroath. It also finished Queen's Park 2, Partick Thistle 2. So looking at the live table, United 6 points clear of Wraith Rovers. Morton bottom on 6 points. Inverness Cali Thistle moving away slightly from them. They would move up to 8 points if their scoreline becomes a result later in the day.
Half time in Paisley, 1-0 to St Mirren.
Thank you to Willie Miller. It was a doer game there, but Keanu Bacchus has put the home side ahead there. That goal coming on 36 minutes. St Mirren third in the table. If the scoreline stays the same, they'll be level on points with Rangers. Rangers at home to Hearts tomorrow afternoon. Full coverage on Sportsound of that game. Also coverage of Kilmarnock there at home to Aberdeen. So we're just approaching half-time. Derek Ferguson, doesn't sound a great game for you there either.
That was a good start from County, and Motherwell started to get themselves into the game, but it's just a case, Kenny, they're kind of cancelling each other out at the moment. No real chances from both sides, so I think the break can't come quick enough. I think get them in, get the managers, get their points across, and hopefully we get a better outcome in the second half.
Let's hope so. Still playing Alan Preston, Starks Park?
It might be.
We're into added on time in the opening of this game here. Still 0-0. I think that'll be the case at half time, Kenny.
There's a cheer somewhere, something. Anything? It's been quiet today. Was it anything happening in your game, Kenny?
Yeah, it was just a tackle in the middle of the pitch. It was we've got 6 minutes added in time here. The ball's passed it to Tavares, and he's just left Tony Ralston standing. He went one way and just moved it outside his right foot the other. To be honest, I felt it could have been a booking, because it was like a counter-attacking moment maybe for Hibs, but he's got away with it, Tony Ralston. Foul in the middle of the pitch. You normally get away with him there, but there'll be still 2 minutes left, I think, of the 6 in this first half here at Easter Road. Still 0-0.
Half time, Kenny, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0.
Yeah, it's been disappointing, you'd have to say, in the top flight this afternoon. We have 4 games for you, with the option of commentary from the big match at Easter Road, Hibs against Celtic. A couple of chances for Celtic in that game. Some terrible defending from Hibs, playing out from the back, but so far they haven't been punished. Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Derek just telling us Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, and Willie bringing us a half-time score. St Mirren 1, St Johnstone 0. Bacchus with a goal.
Time at Kirkcaldy, Raith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 0.
Thank you. Bacchus with a goal on 36 minutes. So still we are playing at Livingston, and still we are playing at Easter Road. What about the shape in terms of Hibs today? Is there anything that he has changed or he should be looking to change, Kenny?
You know what, I think they've actually been okay today. I mean, it's obviously, as you would expect, Celtic having the lion's share of the possession. I mean, Hibs are working ever so hard.
Half time at Livingston, 0-0.
Hibs are working ever so hard, but they're in the 4-4-2 formation. You can see their back 4 and their midfield 4 off the ball. They're trying to stay really, really compact. They're trying to force things wide, and they have done for the most part. Celtic have played through them as well at some points, because their movement, the rotations is very good. But for Hibs, it's they would just be looking to get Boyle in the ball a little bit more, Youan a bit on the ball a wee bit more, to pose a threat if they're looking to win this game. I mean, obviously a point would be a decent enough result, but if you've got any ambition of winning it, you need to try and get these players like Tavares came at the team. He's barely had a touch of the ball, and I suppose that's down to Celtic, the way they've kind of dominated. But no, there's no any real changes, and I think at this moment the biggest thing is when they turn the ball over. We've seen it 2 or 3 times in the first half. They're trying to play out sloppy passes. Leanne referenced one, a 5v4 in their own box. That's ridiculous.
Just happened again, Kenny. I've just watched them concede a corner from their own build.
From turning it over again. Yep. So this will be the final action of the first half, I would think. Oh, that's it. Half time here, still 0-0 at Easter Road.
Yeah, disappointing, you have to say, in that game. Celtic were absolutely terrific in their midweek performance at home to Atletico Madrid, particularly in that first half that night. Their opening goal was absolutely tremendous, but so far they have been unable to break down a stubborn Hibs side at Easter Road. So Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, and St Mirren 1, St Johnstone 0. We'll get some details on these half-time scorelines right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder. What a goal! From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Right, we heard the thoughts of Kenny Miller on Open All Mics in the game at Easter Road, Hibs against Celtic. Let's now hear from our commentary team, Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
It's been a bit of a snooze fest, to be honest with you, here at Easter Road. Both teams have struggled to get going. Celtic haven't been able to recapture any of the magic of the performance against Atletico in the Champions League on Wednesday. Well, Hibs have been slack in possession at times, and have been slack at the back as well, and it's really from unforced errors that Celtic's best opportunities have come from. Paulo Bernardo in his first start smashing a shot just wide after Rocky Bushiri gave it straight back to Celtic from inside his own box, and they were at it again in the final minute of the regulation 45. David Marshall actually spilled the initial effort. It dropped to Maida. Marshall though redeemed himself, making the save. Hibs haven't really threatened Joe Hart up the other end, and there's no real excuse. The conditions are perfect for the game today. It's a sunny day here in the capital, but both teams, for whatever reason, are struggling to get going. Celtic can look to that European game and their exertions on Wednesday evening at Celtic Park. Hibs with a hangover perhaps from the 4-0 defeat to Rangers last weekend, but their biggest issue, Pat Bonner, Hibs, is that they haven't been able to string the passes together, and For Celtic, they just look like they're hungover side from the other night. And obviously Alistair Johnston forced off with a head knot, a concussion sub, replaced by Tony Ralston.
Yeah, I think from his perspective, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to build the game from the back, but it's about players' decisions, movement to create the space to open up Celtic a little bit. You just can't stand there and hope that Celtic aren't going to press you, and that's been the issue for them. So all of Celtic's chances in that final third has come from Hibs' poor passing. David Marshall took it on himself a little bit to change the goal kicks, and he started to get out with more diagonal balls, and he took on that responsibility. From Celtic's perspective, they've got to up the intensity. The intensity is too slow, the passing's not as accurate as we've come to expect, but it's just that intensity, and maybe it's coming off the European, but that then means that they have to get a mentality right, and they've got to change things either in the mentality of the players or change the players at half time, or just at least into the second half.
The prize for Celtic if they win this is a double-digit lead after 10 matches in the Premiership over Rangers and potentially St Mirren, depending on how they get on in the second half against St Johnstone. And Kenny, these two sides have averaged 3 goals a game over the last 2 decades since they started playing each other at the kind of start of this century. But it's goalless here at Easter Road.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting goals in that one, Liam. There is still time. Full second half commentary to come from Liam and Pat Bonner. Let's then get to Fir Park. Motherwell against Ross County. The half-time report from Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, Ken, I'm afraid no goals here at Fir Park. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, and probably not a surprise as both sides not won in the last 4 league games, and you could tell at times in the game. But the opening stages, they were dominated by County, pushing the home side back at times, creating some good chances as well. Probably Jack Baldwin with a couple of good opportunities with the head from close range, but certainly not hitting the target. Motherwell gradually started to work their way back into the game. That was Brodie Spencer down that left-hand side coming in. It was a slattery cross, and the ball just bouncing up awkward height, still get the head on it, but hits the woodwork, and then just moments later Spencer again unlucky with a strike from about 15 yards out that was well blocked. Both teams heading towards a break, we're probably cancelling each other out with chances at a premium. So looking for better stuff in the second half, Kenny. Motherwell 0, Ross County 0.
Thank you to Derek Ferguson. At least we have seen a goal in Paisley. Willie Miller.
Yes, we have. Not too many opportunities, not a great deal of creativity in terms of making chances by either side. Unfortunately, it's been a pretty dour afternoon, and it's not a case that the managers have set up defensively. Both managers are encouraging their players to get forward. The home side have got 3 up top, but there has just been that lack of inspirational play. But there was a moment of inspiration that came in 36 minutes for the home side. That was Guana Bacchus who pounced on to a Kiltie setup. It was a cross from the left-hand side. Kiltie just chest it down for Bacchus, who from about 25 yards hit it with a good bit of curl on it with the right foot into the top corner to give St Mirren the lead. You look at St Johnstone, they struggle for goals. They haven't looked like scoring. They've got Nicky Clapp up top. There's been no chances created for him, so it's been a desperate first half for Stephen McLean. But for Stephen Robinson, he'll definitely be the happier manager at half-time, purely and simply because of that Bacchus strike, which gives them lead here at half-time.
Yeah, a very important goal there for the home side in Paisley. Let's then get to Livingston against Dundee. There for us, Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed. It's not been the most entertaining of first halves, but I have seen a couple of goals now. There's a young group of local kids out on the pitch playing against each other, and a couple of nice finishes there. And the highlight of the first half did come from a section of the crowd where the ball was kicked into the crowd quite high, and a young lad popped up and headed it back on first time. So that's the biggest cheer of the day we've had. As for on the pitch, it took for 37 minutes really to get the first half decent bit of quality on the pitch. Luke McCowan took a nice touch in the middle of the pitch, drove forward, had a shot, but was never going to trouble Shamal George. In 39 minutes, Montano's shot, left-footed shot, was well wide, and on 46 minutes, just on half-time, McCowan's volley from 30 yards flew high over the crossbar. Whilst both sides do persevere with the 3 at the back and the 2 wing-backs trying to get high, you know, I think they're just going to cancel each other out with so many bodies in the middle of the pitch at times as well. It's a big ask, I think, for one of these managers to go in and change the formation that they've worked on all week, but it is going to take a brave manager, I think, to try and get 3 points out of this game. So we'll be interested to see if they come out and shape up the same way in the second half. Like I said, not easy when you've worked on things all week in a certain formation, but it remains the same. I just cannot see a goal coming in this match. It's 0-0.
Right, let's then get to the big derby in Fife. Raith Rovers against Dunfermline and Alan Preston.
Well, it's 0-0 here as well, Kenny, but it's decent enough. You know, Dunfermline, having watched them last week, were poor, but they showed their intent straight away. A corner coming in and Fisher got his head to it. Good save by Dabrowski, diving down roll to his right hand side. 8 minutes on the clock. Comrie it was this time, getting onto a diagonal pass. His left foot shot again. Dabrowski diving down full length and tipping it round for a corner. Raith Rovers came into the game, and then in 26 minutes it was a ball into Vaughan. He's got his back to go, quickly gets turned, and his hit is just over the top of the crossbar. Then from a corner in 30 minutes it was Murray with his header. The keeper comes out, he clashes with the keeper and the central defender, but his header just over the top of the bar. And then 5 minutes before half time, Owen Moffat, who's been quite lively on the right hand side, his cut back found Jakubiak. His shot was blocked by a defender just right on the 6-yard box, almost putting Dunfermline in the lead. Half-time score at Kirkcaldy, Raith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 0.
Let's get to the game between Inverness, Cally Thistle and Airdrie, and the half-time report from Ian Auld.
Half-time, Kenny, and it's the home side in front at the interval. Debutant David Wotherspoon's goal, the difference between the sides so far this afternoon. The Canadian international opened his Cally Jags account on 37 minutes, latching on to a Nathan Shaw cutback. Wotherspoon adjusted his feet well from inside the area and smashed beyond Josh Ray. Airdrie, who started the game well, had their only effort on target towards the end of the first half. It was a long-range free kick from player-manager Rhys McCabe, easily held by Mark Bridges in the Cally Thistle goal. Half-time here, Cally Thistle 1, Airdrieonians 0.
So the half-time score lines in the Premiership: Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 0, St Mirren 1, St Johnstone 0. In the Championship, Ayr United 0, Morton 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Airdrie 0, Raith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 0. In League 1, Edinburgh City 2, Annan Athletic 1, Falkirk 3, Alloa Athletic 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Stirling Albion 0, Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0, and a 5:30 start, Montrose against Hamilton Accies. No games in League 2 today because of the second round of the Scottish Cup, so I'll go through these quickly for you. Finish: Beath 1, Broomhill 3. Half-time: Albion Rovers 0, St Andrews 0, Brecon City 0, Spartans 0, Civil Service Strollers 0, Stranraer 0, Cumnock Juniors 0, Turriff United 1, Devon Vale 0, Broxburn Athletic 1, Dumbarton 0, Banks of Dee 1, Dunbar United 1, East Fife 0, Formartine United 1, Clydebank 1, Forest Mechanics 0, Bucky Thistle 1, Fraserburgh 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Huntley 1, Forfar 0, Jeanfield Swiss 4, Elgin City 0, Kilwinning Rangers 0, Cowdenbeath 0, Peterhead 2, Clachnacudden 1, Pollock 2, Gallifreydine 2, Stennismuir 0, Brora Rangers 1, and Tranent 5, East Kilbride 0. And in England, the lunchtime kick-off: Chelsea 0, Brentford 2, half-time Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1.
A place in the Scottish League Cup final is at stake.
And they'll fancy going on to win this cup, lifting this trophy.
But who will be celebrating next Saturday tea time?
Hibernian have wrapped it up.
We'll bring you Hibernian versus Aberdeen.
It's all over. Aberdeen have made it.
And who will have a 5th of November to remember next Sunday afternoon?
Shapes a shot and scores for Hearts in stoppage time.
Hearts versus Rangers.
Good dummy by Wright, and Jack will score.
It's the Scottish League Cup on Sports Sound.
In a mouth-watering semi-final lineup.
Scottish football lives here. BBC Radio Scotland. So far on Open All Mics, Leanne Crichton, we have a real shortage of goals, and listening to the guys out and about, a bit of a lack of quality today as well. Not a lot happening.
I know it's hard at times to put your finger on what it is, why it is. Conditions look good, pitches for the most part look good. Everybody's got something to play for. It's that stage of the season. It's just no dropping, it's just not falling yet. I'm more concerned for Stephen Thompson and his sports scene highlights later on.
Yes.
But hopefully the next 45 minutes we'll get a flurry of goals and some action, a bit of drama. I'm just glad there's been a goal at Willie's game, certainly, because it's, you know how tough an afternoon it can be when when Willie's not getting any sort of entertainment. So
the timing was great, wasn't it? The timing
we'll keep going and we'll see how many times we can get him involved in this half. But no, look, even looking at the game at Easter Road, one of my mates has just texted me actually that's a Hibs fan saying how is it looking on the TV because it's not that great in the stadium. I say the most exciting part of the afternoon is watching Hibs trying to build up. So that's literally where Celtic's best chances have come from, is Hibs giving the ball away in their own half and putting themselves under real pressure. Whether they continue to do that in the second half, I'm not sure, but if they do, I'd be very surprised if at some point Celtic don't capitalise on it. And across the board, looking at, like say, the Motherwell game, Fir Park, they've made that a bit of a fortress this season, albeit they've had that poor run of games and then gone the 3 weeks that Derek mentioned without a game. So Stuart Kettlewell will be desperate for these players to get back to winning ways after the brilliant start to the season that they've had. And St Mirren, well, as I mentioned at Willie's game, they've certainly kicking on and continuing the fantastic start that they've had.
Yeah, I mean, that has the remain in third spot, but they go level on points with Rangers on 18, and actually as things stand 7 points clear.
That's brilliant.
Hearts, Motherwell, Livingston, so I'm sure the St Mirren fans, after the heartache of last season, will be dreaming of European football.
Oh, they will be, of course they will, and rightly so. They've backed it up. The consistency levels have been superb, and that's what you want. That's what Stephen Robinson, he won't be getting ahead of himself even if it remains the same today and they open up that gap between Hearts, as you mentioned. I just think you can only take care of your own business. You can only really focus on the controllables and what you can do, how you influence games. And what I like about St Mirren is, albeit the game's not been great today, it's not been perfect, but they find a way.
Yeah.
They've got different types of goals in their team. They create different types of moments. Set pieces are always big for them as well. They've got match winners across the board, and they play right until the very end of the game. So I've really enjoyed watching them this season. I really have.
Yeah, it's been a terrific campaign. Just looking at the stats of that game, our commentary match at Easter Road, Celtic with 65% possession in that game, but so far Hibs are holding out. Let's hope for some goals in the second half. Once again, a choice of listening. For full commentary of Hibs against Celtic, tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave, and for open all mics, tune BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder. From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Let's then I can see a couple of the games, actually all the games are underway, bar that one at Easter Road. So let's go round the grounds and get the guys' feeling of what's going to unfold in the second half. Derek Ferguson, you're at Fir Park. Motherwell against Ross County. I saw County during the week. It was quite a disappointing game up there at Dens Park. I know Stuart Kettle was at that game watching it. What will he make of his side's performance this afternoon?
Well, they've certainly been slow out the traps, that's for sure. Kenny, County started really well. Number of chances, certainly the captain Jack Baldwin, coupled with headers, close range as well, round about that 6-yard box. So they should have really been a goal or two up, so maybe Motherwell rode their luck a little bit, but they just started to come into the game gradually, did Motherwell.
It's a chance, oh, it's a goal, it's a second goal. Oh, what a disaster at the back. I think it was Liam Gordon. I'll double check that one, but it is a second, and it's Mandron that has an easy effort just to slot the ball into the back of the net. It was set up for him. It was a diagonal ball from the right hand side. Liam Gordon decides to chest it down. It's not Liam Gordon, I beg your pardon. I'll get that to you. I think it's maybe Robinson that has chested it down. Yeah, it's the fullback, Brown. So I'll get that right eventually, but I can tell you that it is the second goal for St Mirren, that's for sure. It is Brown that's come in from the right back area to chest it in front of Mandron, who had an easy opportunity to slot it home.
What is he doing, Willie?
I know, I don't know.
What is he doing?
I don't know what he's thinking about. It's not even on. He's got to stoop to chest it as well.
I actually thought he was taking the touch to try and play, but I actually think he's trying to chest it back to the goalkeeper, which is, he's got it so wrong. It's
a horrible one, isn't it?
At that stage of the half as well, the manager must just have his head in his hands,
Looks like a
Incredible.
long way back for St John's. They've had a real struggle this season. And all our pundits, you're asked to do at the start of the season, but you can only go on what you saw at the time, given the league.
Oh, there's
Cup
another one.
campaign.
Oh! First time I've shouted, I think, all afternoon, Kenny. It's Christian Montano. It comes from a Dundee corner, and the ball breaks and eventually finds its way to Montano, who strides past so many Dundee players into the box and unleashes a shot. It goes wide, but I don't even care. It was a fantastic run by Montano. The second half's been a bit more lively since it has started. There has been a change in personnel, not in shape, and it comes from Dundee. Amadou Bakayoko on, Lyle Cameron off, and a bit more lively in the second half. Hopefully a sign of things to come, but it's still 0-0 here.
Arsenal going 2-0 up, a second of the game for Eddie Nketiah. That's 2-0 up at home to Sheffield United. 2 games on Sports Sound for you tomorrow, including Rangers against Hearts. Alan Preston, Rab Smith's a Hearts fan, so just walking on the Fife coastal path, not worrying about Hearts for today. That's Rab from Obens, enjoying open all mics. How concerned are you right now with the way your club's going?
Quite concerned. There was a shareholders meeting the other night and it didn't go down too well, as far as I'm led to believe.
It's a mistake, he's in. Oh, such a tame finish. Bakayoko outmuscles DeLucas right in the centre of the goal. He's got a whole goal to aim at. It goes with his left foot, and Leanne, it's such a poor effort. Straight, no conviction, no power, and it's the easiest of catches from Jamal George.
Straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He does really well. I like Bakayoko, I really do. I think he's had some good moments this season, but he needs to do better. It's a big chance. I mean, I know you can probably speak about the pitch. Does it sit?
Can he take another touch?
Does it take a while maybe to sit? I know it probably, yeah, even shift it on his right. I don't know whether he's looking to try and keep it on his left. A poor effort regardless.
How much, Leanne, does it change your instinct on the part in terms of what the bounce may do on a surface like that?
It's really unpredictable. The only thing, that's what I'm saying, like I've persevered with it because I think I've grown really used to playing on a synthetic surface. Certainly in the best part of 10 years of my career, that was the most part. We were always on it, so you get used to it, you train on it continuously. But if you don't train on it continuously and you don't play on it, and as I mentioned the other week, every one of these surfaces across Scotland are different. So it doesn't matter, like you could have access to a synthetic pitch at your training ground, but you go to the Tony Macaroni, it's going to feel different. You go to Kilmarnock, it feels different. So it takes a little bit. Your instinctive nature, whether you just go and hit it or you would almost be waiting and it just to sit up off a grass surface, that doesn't happen with the synthetic grass. It's unpredictable.
I agree with everything you've just said, Leanne, but I think we would be being a little bit kind to Bakayoko.
No, I'm not saying that. I just mean
just generally.
Yeah. But you know what it's like if it's caught under your feet, Rory, in the synthetic surface as well. So maybe it's the reason why he's not took an extra touch. You mentioned Jamal George earlier on, the way he moves his feet, but
he could have taken another touch.
I think he's got time. Take another touch, shift it onto your right, and you've probably got the hit of the goal.
Alan, just in terms of Hearts, you're saying you're concerned. There's a lot of fans talking during the week about the meeting that took place.
Yeah, it wasn't a great meeting by all accounts. I wasn't there, but just what you're reading online and people that were there were telling you that it was a difficult one for, I think, Andrew McKinley more than anything else. It's a massive 8 days for them. Rangers tomorrow, then Livingston midweek, and then Rangers in the Cup. It's a massive 8 days for Stephen A. Smith. He needs to go to Ibrox tomorrow and prove that he knows what he's doing and make it difficult for Rangers and try and get a result. Then on to Wednesday against Livingston, which is always difficult, but it's at home. You would expect Hearts to go and win that, and then the Cup next week, chance to get to a Cup final. So massive 8 days for the club.
Yeah, and certainly for a young, inexperienced manager, that's very much the case, of course, at Aberdeen as well. We'll get Willie's thoughts on what developed
Kenny, they're
there.
having a laugh with this far here.
On you go.
That was another check again, and it was about 5 seconds later.
The man
check's over.
Talking about VAR,
and it's incredible. We're looking at each other saying, what happened there? Anyway, what I can tell you is Motherwell started very aggressively in this second half, a lot better. You can see the difference, and there's a more intensity in their game, in their press. They're getting after County. County have made a change actually. Deanda has come off and Kyle Turner has come on, but it's totally different. Really flipped from the first half. County were on top, but not in the second half. Motherwell swarming all over County at the moment.
Well, this game has very much sprung to life. I have to say, it was McCowan down one end who had a pretty tame shot again, held by Jamal George. They come up the other end, Livingston, and Stephen Bradley does well on the right hand side, and the ball eventually gets fed into Sean Kelly, who's looking for his 4th consecutive goal in 4 games. He drills one and it just goes wide of Trevin Carson's goal. Much better second half.
Right, let's get back to Easter Road. The delayed start to the second half there for you, Kenny Miller. What's happening?
Yeah, well, Hibs have actually started the half not too bad, and from actually playing out, but no the kind of reckless way they were doing. David Marshall found Lewis Miller on the right hand side, and they created an opportunity because Palmer just let Miller go, and it ended up with Lewis Miller in the right wing area for Hibs, and he had a cutback type cross, and it was Eli Ewan was moving on to it, and he should have really got it under control to get his shot off, but he just miscontrolled it with his left foot and it went through the heart. Liam Scales has just wiped Lewis Miller out on the exact same spot that he just crossed it from. It's a free kick on the right hand side. Joe Newell about to take over Hibs, so Hibs have started the first 4 minutes of the second half a lot better than they did in the first half.
Another chance, and it's for Dundee again. It's Owen Beck, who I've been really impressed with every time I've seen him. He plays a lovely ball. It's a great run from Zach Rudden, just curves it round the defender to stay on side. He goes round the goalkeeper actually, and I'm expecting him to find the net. He's capable, but it trickles just wide of the post. Chances were at a premium in the first half, but both sides probably should have scored at this point in the second half, but it's still 0-0.
Two games on Sportsound tomorrow. We touched there on Rangers against Hearts, Aberdeen away at Kilmarnock. Willie Mill, you were there. Really eventful game in Europe on Thursday evening. When you reflect on the game, where does it, is blame the wrong word, but why did Aberdeen not win that match?
No, I think blame is the wrong word, Kenny. You know, I know a lot of focus was put on the changes that were made just before Tout scored the first goal, but I think that's unfair on Barry Robson, because at the end of the game he did explain that the three players were struggling. Povara in particular had cramp and the other two were struggling. Now I don't know what he means by struggling. Certainly Conor Barron didn't look as though he was struggling, but that's what Barry says. Listen, as a manager you've got to make these calls. They're big calls, it's a big decision.
A chance here for Marin Boyle. It's an incredible cross for John Nabia. He must be 30 yards out on the left line, right on the touchline, and he just whips it round Carter Vickers right onto the right foot of Martin Boyle, and he must be 7 yards out, 8 yards out, middle of the goal. He's sliding in to get a right foot volley on it, and he just puts over the bar.
Save.
Incredible opportunity for him.
Great save again, brilliant stuff, Dabrowski. So when Moffat cuts inside, hits a right foot shot about 16 yards out, Dabrowski beats it away, in comes Comrie for the rebound, keeper's up quickly, brilliant, absolutely brilliant double save by the young keeper.
Just getting back to that Boyle chance, Kenny, he's got to score.
Yeah, he
at least needs to work the goalkeeper. The delivery is inch perfect. It's great. Honestly, it's a striker, you're looking at that going, find me.
It's a perfect cross, and it's just been whipped early. The defence is no set. It takes the first defender out, which was Carter Vickers. Joe Hart can't come for it because of the pace and how far it out, and he's just got to slide and get there. He's just got to hit target. If he hits target for that, because the power's on the cross, you know, if he hits target with that opportunity, it's going to be hard for Joe Hart to save.
Yeah, Leanne, you were talking earlier about the struggles perhaps for sports scene tonight to find some highlights. There's no goal in that game. That pass, you're right, was exquisite, wasn't it?
It's perfect. It's really, really good.
Bakayoko scored and Dundee take the lead. It's the first goal in a long time, and Luke McCowan does ever so well. It comes to him after a good run by Rudden. He goes out to the left hand side. It looks for all the world that he's going to shoot. McCowan cuts back inside, he plays it across the back of Yoko. I think the keeper should maybe do better. Leanne will get a better look, but it finds its way into the back of the net. Dundee take the lead. It's Livingston 0, Dundee 1.
I'm just looking to try and get another look at it, Rory. I'm up at my seat across the studio. It's a faraway telly. But I agree. At first glance, I'm thinking the goalkeeper maybe needs to work his feet a bit quicker. Can you get there? Just going to get the replay now. But it's good build-up play from Dundee and patience as well. As it McCowan that's in the box, it sets it back.
Yeah, it was good play. The quality in the second half has been a lot better.
You'll get a VAR check in a minute for interference in a second.
Is that an interesting one?
Well, this will be a better angle here, Kenny, from behind the ball.
Well, you're talking about the Dundee game,
Yeah, there's one of the Dundee players is standing in an offside position. It's just whether they deem that to be interfering perhaps with the sight of the goalkeeper or not.
That's not something I even spotted.
It's a good finish with Bakayoko though.
No, it would be very hard. It was quite a congested area there.
Well, listen, we've seen it in Tuesday night.
It was exactly, and they had the benefit, Dundee, on Tuesday night. That county goal was chopped off. Willie Collum is the man in charge through the game there at the Tony Macaroni Arena. What a big moment
on VAR.
For Grant Irvin on VAR. Big moment this one, Rory, because Dundee had a decent start to life back in the top flight, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and they've played some good stuff, and they just haven't picked up the points. They've got 5 draws to their name in 8 games. You know, a lot of these games they should have been taking more points from. You know, the Kilmarnock game, they go 1 up at home and get a man sent off, which was the red card we were discussing earlier. So yes, they've played well, but Tony Docherty will know that when you are playing well, because they'll go through a period where they maybe don't play so well, they're new to the league, that they need to pick up 3 points more often than they pick up draws.
Still, we wait, Leanne. It's obviously very close.
Why is Willie Collum not? If it is about interference, why is Willie Collum not being called across to look at it?
That was the point we put to Bobby Madden earlier.
Now, eventually, 4 minutes later, now he's coming across.
Right, this is very interesting, because this is what Malky Mackay was livid at on Tuesday night.
I don't think either player looks or moves towards the ball, Kenny, so it will be interesting.
Did not sort of jump, Leanne, almost, you know.
What is it for? Is it in the...
Two players are standing in an offside position.
The eye line of the keeper.
Well, that'll be what's the debate.
I certainly would have expected a keeper of Shamal George's quality to save that.
Yeah,
here we go now.
Does he just through his legs there, Kenny? You might see that better.
I think there are 2 Dundee players right in Shamal George's eye line. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I would hate this as a striker. See if I was Bakayoko, I would have hated this.
To be fair, this is my debate with this type of interference, because that for me probably, as a goalkeeper, that's more of an interference than Jack Henry.
Offside, no goal.
If it's like that you're saying, Kenny, that 2 players are in his eye line and they're offside.
One player's in his eye line.
Right, okay.
It does go through him, Alan. And this is my point. This is probably more of an interference for me than Jack Henry laying a slight bit of contact in the Scotland game.
Right.
Because, do you know what I mean? Because I still think the goalkeeper was in control, whereas that one he's anticipating it coming through bodies.
Tony Docherty said on Tuesday night he felt it was the right call from the referee in time. Seemed very interesting here.
Take me words back now, won't you?
Tony Docherty has to say this afternoon. We will hear from him post-match on Sports. And that's a big moment in that game. As Rory was saying, it's been a decent start for Dundee to life back in the top flight. They are sitting, these points are going to come off, but they had 2 wins, 1 win from their opening 5 games. Just looking now, this waiting for the table to update there, but that goal has been chopped off. Bakayoko with a finish, but Willie Collum been called over, and he said no goal in that game. We have had goals at St Mirren Park, the home side. It's been a terrific season for St Mirren, Willie Miller.
Absolutely, and it looks as though it's going to improve this afternoon as well, although St Johnstone are getting a little bit better, but St Mirren now taking control. They got presented with that second goal, there's no doubt about that. Huge error, and James Brown has been substituted on the back of it. He didn't get too much time on the field of play, so Steve McLean obviously not happy after that goal going in. So St Mirren, tails up, flying high. What are they now in the same points as Rangers on the 18?
Yep.
Which is quite sensational, isn't it? It didn't look like that, mind you, I would say, for the majority of that first half, but they haven't allowed St Johnstone any opportunities, so very solid defensively. They get that goal, it's a wonderful goal from Bacchus, then they're presented with a second one, and St Johnstone just don't score goals, do they? So I don't think any of us would be anticipating a comeback for St Johnstone, although they did do it against Dundee, by the way. They had 2 late goals against Dundee. I covered that one to get a 2-2 draw in a game that they shouldn't have got anything out of, but it's hard to see that happening this afternoon, and St Mirren looking as though that they're going to just add to that great start to the season.
Big chance for County down the right hand side. The ball's whipped across, it comes to Turner, he's just inside the box and gets a good strike on it. I'm not quite sure, there's a slight deflection, but Kelly in the end up in goal gets it, but that's it. Allardyce had a strike just moments ago as well. Turner had a strike earlier, so as well and as aggressive if Motherwell started the second half, still the opportunities are falling to County, but certainly that one's a good one. Could have maybe hit it a little bit sweeter, I'm not sure, maybe kind of dragged it a little bit, but I like Kyle Turner. I like him when he's on the park. He's got aggression about him, he gets forward, he can pop those passes off. But County this afternoon, they've had the best chances, and
you know, they've passed a number up, certainly in that first half. But don't know, Motherwell, they're not the same team they were certainly earlier in the season. I just think this little run that they're on maybe just dented their confidence a little bit.
Yeah, real sore ones, wasn't it? I mean, the late loss against Celtic, Derek, and they should have taken something at Ibrox as well.
Of course they should have. You know, they played exceptionally well in that game. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, they've played at a real high level so far this season. Probably not got the points on board that they deserve. But this afternoon, for whatever reason, you know, I'm saying that they're a little way off, but it's just sometimes that little bit of kind of confidence that just kind of maybe seeps away from you. You know, it's maybe had a little bit of an effect, but not just quite the same as at the same level as I say that Wilkinson just at the back post that has actually come on for Bear about 5 minutes ago, but they're just not as slick as what I witnessed earlier on. But they're still well in the game, but certainly County with the better chances.
Yeah, we're speaking there about St Mirren's lofty position. You're levelling points with Rangers in 18 points. They played 9 games, won 5, drawn 3, lost 1. They've got 2 games left to play in their opening round of fixtures. That's away at Celtic midweek and the rearranged game, which again a lot of St Mirren fans aren't happy. It's been rearranged for a midweek away at Ross County. But that is absolutely terrific, the job that Stephen Robinson is doing there, Leanne, isn't it?
It's brilliant. Yeah, no, totally outstanding. We said that at half time there. You know, there's only so many more positives you can probably say about the performances. I was just looking, Rory, have you had a chance to see that disallowed goal back yet?
I've just been looking at it. That needs explained, because obviously there's something there that
it's going to totally divide opinion, isn't it?
Well, what would you mean by divide opinion?
Like, as in, again, like some folk are going to go, it's interfering, other folk are going to go, he's done nothing. I just mean, you
don't think he's putting the keeper off there?
Well, there's one player who's onside.
The angle, I've just seen it back there.
I've not seen the other angle. I just saw it come into the studio here, right? But Rory, you're with Leanne in this one, Rory. It was the wrong decision.
Oh my goodness!
I'm seeing a picture here now.
I mean, the person who put the keeper off the most, in my opinion, is onside. He falls to the ground, and then there's 2 players beyond him. The goalkeeper can see the ball, by the way.
They've got it. County, it's Turner, aggressive, plays the ball in, little way off to Brophy. I tell you what, it's a great strike. Kelly just gets the fingertips to it, but it's a wonderful finish from Brophy. And you've got to say, overall, you know, they have created the better chances, and as I said, they were aggressive in their start to the second half, Motherwell, but there's a goal behind. Wonderful strike that.
Yeah, they actually both come on as substitutes, Turner and Brophy, in the game on Tuesday. That could be a big scoreline for County, Leanne.
It could be, it could be, and it could be, you know, significant as well when you look at the table. But it's a brilliant goal. But although I'm
hold on a minute, what's happening?
Don't you mention the watch, don't you say the letters, Derek?
Here we go.
They will check it anyway, Derek. To look as if there's anything else been happening. Has it been disallowed, or is there?
I couldn't see anything at all. But it seems to be the norm that there's a check.
They check the goals regardless, though. They check every goal. It might take a bit of time.
Right, here we go.
Attacking phases of play. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't it look like there's anything wrong?
Just Turner gets on the ball, driving forward, plays it in. Not sure who squared it off to Brophy, but it came to him. It's instinctive. It's a great hit from the edge.
Turner sets Brophy.
Should the keeper have done better, Leanne?
Yeah, we've got the goal.
I just wondered if it was a bit unsighted in terms of how quickly it happened, Kenny, but possibly. By Liam Kelly's standards, I'm sure he'll be frustrated.
There you go, double celebrations.
Kenny, just to come back to the Dundee one, okay?
Yep.
Right, just to be clear, it's not against the laws of the game to stand in an offside position. You're allowed to stand in an offside position, okay? Now, Shamal George can see the ball. He can see where the ball's been struck and where it's going. The Dundee player does. I don't even think he moves out the way. He simply just stands still. So I cannot for the life of me think how on earth that could be given as offside.
Right, Alan, do me a favour, send that to me.
Yeah.
And with Bobby Madden in here earlier, I don't know Bobby what he's up to this afternoon. Let's fire that off to him.
He's hiding in the back room now.
Well, it'd be interesting to compare that, say, to the goal that was disallowed at I keep calling it Dens Park, but Dens Park on Tuesday evening.
I just wonder if you're the goalkeeper, though, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, Rory, by the way, because I've seen it back, and as I'm saying to you, like, it's going to completely divide opinion in terms of. Tony Dock might come out and go, I agreed the other night, but I totally disagree with that. Our goal should have stood. Is the goalkeeper waiting though for the touch in terms of like? You're inside the goalpost as an offside player.
Well, I think
are you waiting for a flick of the foot? Is that how goalkeepers, in terms of being reactive and instinctive?
I think if we're getting to the stage where you're asking the referee to read the goalkeeper's mind, you go by the facts, and the facts are the Dundee player's allowed to be there.
He's still on the move though. His body does move as the ball passes him by. I know whether he's trying to get out of the way. Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to think what is the referee went and looked at there and went, he's definitely interfering with the goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I just think it's a farce. I understand that you're being devil's advocate, and that's not necessarily your opinion, but it's far too far a stretch.
Or looking for consistency, because if this allowed a goal like that,
a potential red card now.
That's the key thing, right? And we'll get to Kenny Miller at Easter Road. We need to check in there because Hibs doing very well.
They are looking at a red card now, just so you know, Kenny.
Right,
he's off. Yep, see you later.
Yeah, he's going to be gone.
What, he's gave the yellow card out.
Well, it looks like a stamp, Rory.
Oh, is it a stamp?
Yeah, stamps in his shin. It's silly. Probably similar to the Lauren James one during the World Cup in terms of force and contact, and
he's going to the screen.
Top of his shin.
Who was it? I mean, again, it happens.
Right, I'm going to try and get
the ball.
A replay then out.
Right, here we go, just waiting for that one. So a busy afternoon in terms
Mandron's got to score! He does! Michel Mandron, he finishes off this game here on the break for St Mirren. It's St Johnstone all over the place.
Yeah, he's off. Montano's off.
Right, okay, so second of the game for Mandron. Well, it's all come to life there, and the class that they've shown all season from St Mirren, that's shone through this afternoon.
That's it finished, yeah, and there's no doubt about that on the break. St Johnstone committing too many men forward. Olusanya, who breaks away down the left-hand side and just sets it up for Mandron. Mandron totally free at the right-hand side of the penalty box, runs into the penalty box, and all he has to do is hit the target, and he makes no mistake yet again to give St Mirren that third goal, and it's a disappointing afternoon, that's for sure, for St Johnstone. There's no way back now for them.
Certainly disappointing afternoon as well for Montagna there at Livingston. He's given it big time to someone who's got off the park there. I couldn't quite see who it was, but my goodness, he was furious. But I don't think he can have any complaints about that decision. Let's then get to Kenny Miller. He's to Easter Road. What's happening there, Kenny?
Yeah, I've got to say Hibs have been the better team in the second half. Celtic have offered very little in an attacking sense in the opening 21 minutes of this second half. But again, Hibs they've been better. They've not really worked Joe Hart at all. They've got a couple of openings where Joe Newell got in on the left hand side and he's tried to flash one across the goal. We got it all wrong. It goes out for a throw on the far side. But they've had more pressure and more territory in the second half of Hibs without really creating that chance. But Celtic have, again, maybe it's the exertions of Wednesday night against a really good Atletico Madrid team. They've just not really got that same energy, that same zip to their attacking play. But they've made 4 changes, 5 in total. Obviously Alistair Johnson went off in the first half, and Mikey Johnson, James Forrest, and David Turnbull have came on, and Maeda, Bernardo, Kyogo and Lewis Palmer have all went off. So it's a completely new front line for this Celtic team to try and go with the last 23 minutes of the game plus stoppage time to try and go and get the 3 points here.
Kenny, it's an interesting one. As I said, I was covering the European game midweek. They were terrific, particularly in that first half. We had the discussion afterwards about the fantastic recruitment, but the lack of options up top that Brendan Rodgers had. And we know Kyogo is carrying a shoulder injury that at some point is going to need surgery, and the guy's saying, look, he clearly doesn't fancy but when he gets his chance, he's got to take it, and this is his chance today.
Well, it is. He's got 20 odd minutes now to go and salvage 3 points for his team. You know, he's up now, he's leading the line. He's got James Forrest one side, Mikey Johnson the other. Again, it's not the first choice even winger, so again, that's not easy for him, but he needs to show more than what he's shown in a Celtic jersey so far. So he's a different player to Kyogo. He's probably not got the same type of movement or energy, but he's more of a physical threat. But he's like I said, I think he just needs to show more, and this is an opportunity for him, because if Kyogo is going to be missing or he's going to be rested with all the games that are up up and coming, is going to be the one that's going to have to replace him, because like you say, there is a real lack of replacement for Kyogo. So is that guy. This is his chance. He's now got 22 minutes to go and maybe go and get a winning goal.
So Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Levy down to 10 men. Christian Montagna sent off there
It's
for a start.
brilliant. They've got their second. That's a brilliant goal. It's Murray. Ball's played into him, Kenny, edge of the box, little drag back, and I tell you what, it's a fine finish because he's got a lot to do, and he just puts it past Kelly, his left hand side, just picks his spot. You know, it's a wonderful goal and deserved.
Is Liam Kelly caught a bit flat there?
It's hard for me from here, but you know, because when Murray picks it up on the left hand side of the box, little drag back and
gets his shot away quick. I just wonder if he's been caught, maybe expecting to take another touch.
Did it go under his arm? I just
side foot finish as well, so he's not just went with power, bit of power in it, but he just guides it, you know, and picks his spot, bottom left hand corner. I thought it was a wonderful finish.
It was right in the corner enough, it was a nice
fair amount of power with the inside of the foot, as you described there, Derek.
It was a very
I still think Liam Kelly's going to be
disappointed.
I think so. Yeah.
Even the Brophy one,
a good height.
Yeah, Leanne, the Brophy one. I mean, he hits it sweet as or not, but he gets a hand to her fingertips.
That's the point, Derek. You think he's a great keeper, he should be doing better.
And I kind of wondered with the first one, could he maybe get a stronger hand on it? It's difficult from this angle where I'm sitting to kind of tell you if he should have dealt with that one better. But it was Murray's done this a couple of times, a couple of lovely little kind of drag backs, getting away from his opponent, the defender, but you know, he hits the target, he picks his spot, and you've always got a chance of putting it in.
It's a big goal, huge goal.
It's a massive, and it's a huge
great time to get a second as well.
Disappointment for Motherwell, because I think a lot of people, myself, I fancied Motherwell today here, but County have come out and going about their business really well.
So Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 0, Levy down to 10 men. Montagna sent off in 70 minutes. Motherwell 0, Ross County 2, Eamon Brophy 65, Simon Murray 73. St Mirren cruising 3-0 up against St Johnstone. Canubakis with opener on 36, a double from Mikael Mandel in 48 and 70 minutes. Into the Championship, Ayr United 0, Morton 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 1, Airdrie Onions 0, Wotherspoon with his first goal for Cali Thistle, that coming on 37 minutes. Wraith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 0. In League 1, Edinburgh City 3, Annan Athletic 1. The leaders are cruising. Falkirk 3, Alloa 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Stirling Albion 0, Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0. 5:30 kick-off, Montrose against Hamilton Accies. No goals, no games rather, in League 2 this afternoon. That's because of the second round of the Scottish Cup. I'll do my best to go through these for you. It finished Beath 1, Broomhill 3. Latest scores: Albion Rovers 2, St Andrews 1, Brecon City 0, Spartans 2, Civil Service Strollers 0, Stranraer 2, Cumnock Juniors 2, Turriff United 1, Devon Vale 0, Broxman Athletic 1, Dumbarton 1, Banks O'D 2, Dunbar United 1, East Fife 0, for Martin United 3, Clydebank 1, Forest Mechanics 0, Bucky Thistle 1, Fraserburgh 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Huntly 1, Forfar 0, Jeanfield Swifts 6, Elgin City 0, Kilwinning Rangers 0, Cowden Beath 0, Peterhead 3-1 now up against Clark and the Cudden. Pollock 4, Gallifferydene 2, Stennismuir 0, Brora Rangers 2, Tranent 7, East Kilbride 0. And in England, lunchtime kick-off, Chelsea 0, Brentford 2. Latest scores: Arsenal 3, Sheffield United 0. A hat-trick there for Eddie Nketiah. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. They've come from behind. 5:30 start, Wolves against Newcastle United. What a scoreline, what a result this would be for Hibs this afternoon, Kenny, if they can hang on.
Yeah, Celtic have just upped it a few notches on the last 5 minutes. They've started to kind of really get into better positions in the final third. Matt O'Reilly again, he's had a brilliant scoring record so far. He had a half chance, it just fell to him on the angle on the inside right, maybe about 14 yards on the angle. He's tried to pass it, had no power at all, straight to Rocky Bashir who blocked it. But they've started in the last kind of, let's say, 3 or 4 minutes, they've posed more of an attacking threat on this Hibs backline. As we speak, Hibs are just making a change. Lafont Wanderers coming on to replace Vente, who's worked ever so hard. You know, he's been dropping back in, helping his midfield. He's been getting up and supporting Boyle up front. He's put a real shift in for that Hibs team. So fresh legs on with Adam Lafondre up front now. But yep, Celtic just cranked up a few notches in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, so a very tight game through there at Easter Road. Also a tight game for you this afternoon, Rory.
They've got a penalty kick, and it's a sub. It's Barrett that's come on. Just I want to say, not sure who played that ball. Just down the outside right position, just whipped it round the corner. And I tell you what, it's good pace. He's been out for a while as well. Didn't look a lack of fitness or sharpness there, but he's been brought down. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Barrett, the boy from Arsenal?
Barrett.
Barrett, is it Barrett? Right.
Yeah.
You keep me right. I thought you said beer there. I'll certainly be happening later on. But right away, he's grabbed the ball. As most centre forwards do. So
gets a touch because he's anticipating. You can see Laidlaw coming, and Laidlaw doesn't make too much a song and dance
about it. He wipes him out.
Yeah,
so
no doubt. Big chance for Motherwell to get back in the game.
Yeah, Barrett just a wee shuffle to the side.
Still
right foot, calm as you like, puts it in. 2-1, game on.
Certainly game on there. Cove Rangers have gone ahead. What a scoreline it would be, what a result it would be for them. Ruben Burrell on 83 minutes. Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 1, and Derek telling us Motherwell right back in it now against Ross County. Motherwell 1, County 2. Livingston Rory up against a man down at home to Dundee.
Oh, Bakayoko's got to score there just as you come to me. He's up too early in my opinion. It's a good ball in from Portales. He finds him at the back post. He's got to try and guide the header back across the goalkeeper. Instead he heads it right down the throat of Shamal George. They've had enough chances to win this game, Dundee, I must say, and Livingston haven't really had a look in since Montano was sent off and all the controversy around the Dundee goal.
Let's get to that then, Rory, because I said Leanne sent me the video. That's I forwarded a video on to Bobby Madden, who was with us earlier on. This will be a tough call, not in line of vision, no obvious movement and not interfering with an opponent. What I would say is that the keeper seems slow to react, so is he waiting for a touch, obviously from the opposition player? That's maybe just because he can't see the ball due to other players. Bobby says, so for me, it should have been a goal.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the point Leanne makes, but for me, and I understand Leanne was making the point just for a counter-argument, not that she felt that way, but it's clutching at straws, to say the least. I mean, how can you make a decision based on what the referee thinks the goalkeeper might or might not do? It's ridiculous.
I know, and if we're going down the road, the referee's trying to figure out what footballers are thinking, Rory, would be as well chucking it now.
I mean, the first 5 or 6 lines you read out there for Bobby Madden say it all. I mean, on what basis would the VAR look at that and go, right, that needs reviewed? That's clear and obvious, that error.
And this is why we had the debate earlier on, to mark a year of VAR in Scottish football, but again to highlight the inconsistencies. But also with that, we must say it's been so much better this season. Yeah, and yes, it has been so much better this season. I agree with you, but you still need to highlight clear bad errors. But what I will say is that it's the ones that look so easy, and I appreciate, you know, Bakayoko's header or finish, that might look easy, and you know, we criticise them all the same in terms of the footballers on the pitch, but that's not a difficult decision, and they get involved in it. Why get involved with that? There's just nothing there to rule out that goal, nothing at all, and Dundee have been robbed of a goal, absolutely robbed.
Should have been 3-1.
Yeah.
County. Oh, it's Samuel just into the box. The ball sits up lovely for him. He's just come on as substitute on the volley. I think he should be doing better. He just puts it past that right hand post. So I tell you what, they might rue that opportunity or that chance as we get into the final stages.
It's a goal. Joe Shaughnessy, Dundee do have their goal. It's a Stramash in the box from a long throw. It looked like terrible defending from Livingston, I have to say. And Joe Shaughnessy's Johnny on the spot. It looked like he volleys it in with his left foot. And Dundee do get their goal, as I said, and no sign so far of Willie McCollum's hand beneath his ear, but I wait with bated breath, Kenny.
Yeah, and that may just spare the refereeing team there a blast from Tony Docherty later in this game. We shall see. So a big moment there. We can see the celebrations coming. Very experienced campaigner Joe Shaughnessy with that goal there for the away side. Just watch a replay of that now, Leanne.
Yeah, just seeing it now. David Martindale's going to be furious, you know, conceding that type of goal from a long throw-in.
Looks like they had opportunities to clear.
they've got so many yellow jerseys in and around the ball road as
but
well.
do you know what, Leanne? He should also be furious at Montagna. I mean, madness.
Crazy.
Well, there's just been an announcement. No, I'm not joking. There's been an announcement about something. It was difficult to make out with my headphones on what he said, but they're checking something. I don't know what it is. Trying to work it out. Did you see anything, Leanne?
No, nothing. Shaughnessy looked like he was perhaps offside.
Oh, what a save, Alton! They've got it, Laturi! Oh, they're all over the place at the back, Motherwell. I tell you, his first attempt, it's saved by Kelly with his feet. The ball just comes back to him calmly, slots into the back of the net. Yeah, they've been all over the place at the back, and Samuel just moments ago, he should have been hitting the target, should have been scoring, but Laturi there, goal given. Makes no mistake.
A big goal there for County. It's interesting, I was watching the pictures here. I could see Joe Shaughnessy close up, and he was obviously saying a teammate possibly offside, because he was trying to work out the reason why on earth that would not be given, but the goal has been given, and Dundee are ahead. Real Madrid have equalised away at Barcelona. No surprise, Jude Bellingham on 68 minutes. He is an amazing player. What a start he has had to his Real Madrid career, going very, very well. The England international. Let's then get back to Easter Road. Still goalless here, Kenny Miller.
Still goalless here, Kenny. Again, nothing really new to report. Again, Celtic have now got a bit more control over the game now. They're asking questions going into this last 10 minutes of the game. Again, but they've not had that chance. They had a half chance there. Again, it was just playing on the last line. It wasn't a great pass to him, but he's got the strength and the upper body strength to hold off Fish, and he got a glancing header, but it was straight at David Marshall. It wasn't even a half chance, but that's it's as much as they've been able to conjure up in this last. Since you last came. At the moment they've got Mikey Johnson again. They're on the attack more often now. Hibs are struggling to get out of their own half at this moment, but they've got a cross for Taylor. Finds Johnson on the edge. Johnson shoots. It's a save for David Marshall.
There's a corner that's flicked onto the front post by Portales, I think it is, and there he is again. Joe Shaughnessy to tap home. I think it's a left foot volley again, and the Dundee fans are going crazy surrounding him as he runs over to them. Stewards are falling over and everything. It's Livingston 0, Dundee 2. Shaughnessy the double.
Yeah, big fist up there, celebrating with the fans. Tony Dock on the touchline. It's been a very good campaign so far, you'd have to say, for them on the return to the top flight. Big celebration. We can see the pictures now, as Rory was telling us there. A double for Joe Shaughnessy. I can't see anything the VAR would check with this one, but I do want to speak to you soon. A big goal in the Championship. Morton 1-0 away Ayr United. George Oakley on 87 minutes. Let's stay in the Championship. Let's get to the game between Inverness, Cali Thistle and Airdrie. Ian Auld, what's happening?
Yeah, Kenny, Cali Thistle hanging on here. Airdrie have been the better of the two sides in the second half. It's been all Airdrie really in the second 45. They've made a couple of substitutions as well. Manager Rhys McCabe going off, and it's all traffic heading towards Mark Ridger's goal. But so far, for all the good play, they really haven't created too many great opportunities. And they're very pretty in possession, but a real kind of cutting edge up front for the Diamonds.
On the balance of play, Rory, would you say that Dundee deserved the victory this afternoon?
I think that goal being disallowed, gave them the bit between their teeth, and I would say up until that point it was fairly even. Livingston and Dundee, it was end to end. Either team could have scored, but I would say since the disallowed goal, Dundee have been the better team. Are they worthy of a 2-goal lead? I'm not quite sure, but I certainly wouldn't have said that it was against the run of play that Dundee scored the goal. So they find themselves in the lead, and it would probably at this point, given the last kind of 20 minutes, hard to argue with, Kenny.
We've spoken a lot, Derek, about the lack of options Stuart Kettlewell has up top, but today real concerns with performance at the back.
Yeah, they've been all over the place. I think when they got one back from Beirut with that penalty, I think they just lost a little bit of discipline, throwing bodies forward, and they were really exposed because it was Samuel and Laturi right through the middle, and he gets a second bite of the cherry, but really poor defending. There was just a moments ago there, Kenny, as you've came to me, Kyle Turner, free kick. He's about 23 yards out. He puts it to the keeper's left, and Kelly, he's absolutely static, and if he hits the target, it's into the net, and I've got a great view of it, and I thought the keeper would have just move his feet, get across a little bit, but maybe kind of looks a little bit out of sorts, unusually, Kelly, because we know he is a top goalkeeper, but
I tell you who's made the difference in the second half, and it's a guy I says that I've liked. I like the boy Kyle Turner.
Yeah.
Big time. I like his aggression. I think he's a good football player, and he makes things happen, you know, and I think he's just added to the county side in this second half.
A bit of dig like his dad.
I tell you what, and his dad did it.
My goodness.
She'd kick you up and down the park, which I quite liked that. He was a tough cookie, which is, and he's got a little bit of that. Kyle has of his dad, but
what I like about him, Derek, at County, I really liked him last season in the Championship.
Here's a chance, Wilkinson. He's got it. I thought he'd lost the chance here. I love these games at Fir Park. Here we go, 3-2. I thought the game was done and dusted, but good finish. He just, I don't know, he caught his heels a little bit. He just adjusts his feet there, and then second little chance, bang, into the back of it. 3-2. Oh, forget the first half. This is a great second half.
And who mentioned Bologna earlier? Ain't interested.
It's a crossbar for James Forrest. He should score. It's a corner for David Turnbull, and it just goes all the way to the back post. James Forrest, I don't know how, but he's standing at the back on his own. Side foot volley, right foot underside of the bar and away. Celtic are coming again now. James Forrest got on the right wing.
It's another goal. I think it's Greg Kiltie at the back post. That gets the final touch to it for St Mirren to make it 4 here. It's a bit of a romp now. It's a good work down the left hand side, goes to the back post, and I'm sure it is Greg Kiltie that manages to get the final touch at the back post. I'll correct that if I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong in saying that it's St Mirren 4, St Johnstone 0.
That's a sore one for St Johnstone. Brilliant result for St Mirren, right enough, Willie.
It is, yeah. I mean, they've totally dominated the second half. First half, nothing much to report, but never looked in any danger. Second half, it's a bit of a romp for them. St Johnstone are looking a sorry lot, totally ripped open at the back on a number of occasions in the second half. So a great result for Stephen Robinson, that's for sure.
Yeah, for the fans tuned in, Willie, and I said earlier, you guys were all asked at the start of the season to give you tips of who you thought would finish bottom, and of course you based that on what you saw in the League Cup. You know, they were dreadful in the League Cup. They must be really concerned, the Saints fans tuned in today and watching their team in action. They've been second best all afternoon.
They have been, yeah, and it is concerning. It's concerning that they're rooted down there. They don't look like scoring, Kenny. You know, that's a big issue for them. They don't have goal scorers there. They don't create enough either, and when they're normally, you know, relatively solid at the back, and you know, over a number of years have built a reputation of being solid at the back, but not this season, I'm afraid. What is that now against? 11-15 against, I think, in the league, so not good enough, and only 3 scored. So yeah, it's a long, hard and difficult season for St Johnstone, that's for sure.
7 minutes added on in Livingston.
Right, okay, well, chances perhaps may come the way.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I thought it was going to be another gift for St Mirren. Andrew Considine there wanting to get in the act and give St Mirren another opportunity, but his goalkeeper saved them.
Yeah, Greg Kiltie with the latest goal there, yes.
Yeah, no, we've got 7 minutes as well here, so this is going to be top notch, because it's been a brilliant second half. You know, some cracking goals as well, and just when you think Motherwell are down and out, they've come back, you know, so can they grab an equaliser, or else can County, you know, get another one to make it 4-2 and really kill them off? But 7 minutes, this is going to be great.
A grandstand finish here. What sort of finish is taking place at Easter Road? Kenny Miller.
Yeah, Celtic asking all the questions. I said they should have scored with James Forrest for that David Turnbull corner. Hits the underside of the bar. Just before that, David Turnbull had got in on the inside, just which actually got that corner. He's looking for a cutback, didn't get it wrong. Sorry, got it all wrong. It was cleared for the corner. The Celtic have penned in now. They're just asking all kinds of questions here. Hibs are going to have to hang on because they look tired. They're getting in. James Forrest has made a real impact. He's had that chance, but every time he gets it, he's backing up a beat. He's just played a 1-2 round him. Stands it up. Goes Rocky Bashiri's cleared it at the front post. Rocky Bashiri had a wonderful block as well. I think it felt like Turnbull run about the penalty spot. Looked like he was just going to pull the trigger, and it was an incredible block for Bashiri. So Celtic asking all the questions in this last 3 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Still 0-0.
Falkirk have beaten Alloa by 3-0. John McGlynn's side now 5 points clear of second place Hamilton Accies. Accies in action in the 5:30 kickoff. Let's then get to Is Alan Preston back with us? Alan Preston, what's happening there in Fife, Alan?
Raith Rovers are trying to win this game. We're into 5 added on minutes and they're forcing their way forward. Dunfermline had the better of the first half. Raith Rovers certainly the better of the second, but it looks like it's going to be stalemate here in Fife. It's been a decent enough game. Not a bad derby at all, but 0-0, Kenny, so far, as I say, with 2 minutes to go.
Some angry scenes through there at Fir Park, Derek.
It's getting a little bit feisty, as you would expect. There was a few county players. I don't think they're feigning injury. There was contact, but Mother were so desperate, to get the ball, get it moving, get it up top, try and create something as we get into obviously the latter stages.
And it's for Raith Rovers in the last minutes. I think it's Sam Stanton. The ball's played into his feet. He quickly turns onto his left foot and he's drilled it across the keeper into the back of the net. What a finish! I was saying it's got to be 0-0. What a goal that is. I'm sure it's Stanton. He's mobbed by players, but a brilliant finish from him. Raith Rovers 1, Dunfermline 0.
Bill Diamond Paisley, Kenny. Finishes 4-0.
Yeah, very comfortable over the home side there. Second in the table, level in points with Rangers St Mirren. 18 points from the opening 9 games. Tremendous from Steve Robinson's side.
Full-time Kenny, Cali Thistle 1, Airdrieonians 0.
And that's a big win for Duncan Ferguson's side. They've not had a game for a few weeks, but they bounced back today. And the man that they signed this past week, David Witherspoon, with a goal there, that coming on 37 minutes. You can hear from Alan Preston the importance of that goal in the Championship. Raith Rovers right in the coattails of Dundee United. United, of course, thumping Arbroath 6-0 at Tannadice last night. Let's then get back.
There's a chance. They've done it! Incredible! It's a Wilkinson. Yeah, it's Wilkinson. Wilkinson gets the goal. I thought Beery was going to get it. Somebody at the back post. And he gets it's a tap in for about 2 yards, but this crowd doesn't care. It's into the back of the net. They've equalised. Incredible stuff.
Remember that week I said to you, Derek, you'd won a watch for a game at Fir Park? It actually meant this game.
Yeah.
You've nailed it.
What a second half. Absolutely top draw.
That smash and grab, but you've got to give credit to the character of Motherwell.
Yeah.
Never say die attitude. The substitutions have changed the game.
Absolutely, Leanne.
The amount of bodies they've got in the box, chasing the goal.
Everything. And I mean, you could see there was an aggression about them in the second half, but you always felt County were so dangerous when they got forward, but that never say die. Oh, here we go, we're away to VAR.
Okay, that'll be possible offside.
Oh, my goodness.
Ross it was that grabbed the final
touch. Production crew will be hating you, Leanne, after mentioning that they wouldn't have much work to do tonight.
Quick turnaround now. Been a good second half though across all the games. At least there's been goals in action and.
Although we still wait.
For the most part.
We still wait, yeah, Kenny Miller. Any sign of a breakthrough late on there?
No, we're into 3 minutes of added time now, Kenny. Again, Celtic throw-in. Hibs have had chances, a few opportunities to mount a counter-attack, but they've just not got Boyle on the ball.
Check is over. We have a goal.
It's up in there.
Wow. We've got about 20 players in a melee here. It's a corner to Dunfermline. And somebody's got to be booked if no sent off. The players, actually the Raith Rovers players going off. It's a corner to Dunfermline. Dunfermline are walking him off right behind the goals, as he should be. Decides to walk off to the side. Incredible. Easton, it's coming off. He's been injured. He came on as a sub. He's off again. Dunfermline are piling on the pressure to get this equaliser. Still 1-0 to Raith Rovers. Easton's been booked.
I tell you something, you've got to feel for these Ross County fans and the players going back up the road after that, Leanne.
They've gone through the ringer.
My goodness, and they're a decent supporter, I have to say, down at Dens on Tuesday. Even that was a draw. Looks like a draw today at Fir Park. That after them been 3-1 up. But what a fight back from Stuart Kettlewell's side. There's still time for a winner, Derek.
Oh, I tell you what, Beat was so close. He just he was scampering away down that right-hand side. Just couldn't get away from his marker, but still time for a winner. Yes, Kenny. There certainly is.
Man of the match, Dabrowski. It's a brilliant save. It's a ball played in. The corner comes in, headed out. Back out again, whipped in. Right in the middle of the 6-yard box. It's Comrie with a header. Dabrowski, who's just been named rightfully so man of the match. Another good save by him. Looks like Raith are going to win all 3 points.
Right, let's get back to Easter Road. Who's pressing for the winner there? Kenny Miller.
Celtic, it's all been one-way traffic in the last 20 minutes here, Kenny. They just had another chance. David Turnbull, this time on the inside right, looks to cut it back. James Forrest was bursting across the near post. He's gave a goal kick. I thought it was wonderful defending. I don't know what Leanne can maybe see that.
Full-time
It could maybe have been a
Carconi,
corner, but
1-0
there can't be much long left here at Easter Road. Maybe into the last 30 seconds or so. David Marshall just going to kick this ball up the field.
It was
and
the right decision, Kenny. Forrest get full contact
Livingston
on that.
0, Dundee 2.
Thanks, Rory.
It was a half chance then. They should have done better.
He's one of them. He's arrived kind of too early, and he just can't adjust his feet to get back across him.
And I think that must be Hibs are just wasting their time now with the throw on right in front of Nick Montgomery's dugout.
How much
Looks
time
like they're
did you
going to have done enough for a draw.
Have added on, Kenny?
It was 3 minutes, so there can't be much left now.
Yeah, still we play on. This could be a huge boost after a dreadful
That's full
performance.
time here at Easter Road. Hibs 0, Celtic 0.
Brendan Rodgers still awaits his first win at Easter Road, is that right? Didn't win there at all in his last term. Yeah, that is,
Yeah, I mean, we can see him speaking to Nick Montgomery on the touchline there. James Forrest shaking hands. He had the big chance of the game there, didn't he, Kenny?
Sorry, what was that, Kenny?
James Forrest had the big chance.
Listen,
there.
you've had 2 chances, one for each in the centre half. Martin Boyle on the volley for a wonderful cross from Jordan Abita. Shoot hit the target, got it wrong. And then for the corner again, I mean, Hibs will be, if they'd lost the game based on that. James Forrest standing at the back post all on his own. I don't know where the marking was, and he's got a clear volley, just probably on the 6-yard box, just maybe outside the right-hand post as I'm looking at it. And he gets, he catches it well, good contact, but it's just catches underside of the bar, and it's hit with that much power it ended up outside the box. So it was the best chance that Celtic, I mean, I'm going to say created, but they never really created it, but it was the best chance for Celtic in the game to take it late on. But listen, 0-0, Hibs fought well, they worked ever so hard. I said they had their good opportunity of their own with that Martin Boyle volley, so it's probably a fair result. Hibs had the best part of the first half. Of the second half, Celtic finished strong in the last 20 minutes and were pushing, but couldn't break a resilient Hibs down and find a way past David Marshall.
Full time, Kenny. Motherwell 3, Ross County 3. Incredible second half.
Yeah, I think we all need to take breath just for a couple of minutes, because my God, the first half weren't great, let's be really honest, but my goodness, the second half delivered on open all mics. Tremendous action right across the country, all the reaction to come, and we will have some new guests with us at 5:30 with music and lots of fan reaction to come. Sports on with you right through until 7 o'clock. That's after the BBC Radio Scotland news at 5 o'clock.
On digital radio,
FM.
Your